and gentlemen, cheeseheads of all ages, we're gathered here today to assess the health of a nation.
I think we're capable of being a really good football team, a really good competitive football team, but it's not just going to happen.
A nation responsible for 4 Super Bowls.
The Green Bay Packers have won the Super Bowl. The Lombardi Trophy is coming home.
29 Hall of Famers.
40 yards.
It is a touchdown for Leroy Butler.
Sterling Sharp's 3rd touchdown of the game.
And for being one of the most historic franchises in all of professional sports.
I'd like to welcome you all, of course, and tell you how proud we are to have you a part of the Packers. Just as you should be proud to be here, to be a part of this team.
Live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Zone on the grounds of Summerfest, this is the State of the Packers. Alongside Gabe Neitzel and 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year Jason Wilde, here's Alex Strouf.
Away we go, 2026, State of the Packers, live from the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone at Summerfest. Fellas, good to be back with you. I feel like I haven't talked to you in, 6 months the season's been over.
I'm just glad Jason's here on time. I know we had some of those issues during the regular season. So,
oh, wow.
One
time.
One time the guy oversleeps.
No, you didn't oversleep.
I didn't even oversleep. I just forgot that I need to be there at 10, not 11.
Packers played so little noon games at home.
It's true.
Forgot how the timing and rhythm of the day went. No, but this is always fun.
That's really how you're going to start the show.
That was a good start.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, last year was you didn't pay his dad on time.
Oh,
that was last year.
I've got more electrical work that needs to be done. Are your parents coming down to take the show live?
No, they are not. They are not.
Do they have any hiking planned up in the greater Green Bay area?
They can.
Okay. Mark/Keith, if you're listening, I'll text you on the way back.
Yeah, you've got the number you need to know.
I do.
This is always a fun show. Love doing it. We've got a beautiful day here at Summerfest. Hope people plan on stopping by or listening as they're driving around.
Yeah, come up and talk while we're talking too. That's always
that's
my
a
favorite
Summerfest
part of this.
That's a Summerfest staple.
Hey, do you know where Ecuador Manta's playing?
That's another great callback.
Just get me to the commercial, and then I'll be happy to help.
It's another
Homer,
deep cut.
Homer was looking for someone's glasses while I was doing my segment with him this week. Have you seen my glasses? Anyway.
Summerfest is the best. For those of you that have not joined us before on State of the Packers, we will go position group by position group, breaking down the 2026 Green Bay Packers. And, of course, we'll end with a season overview. Years past, it's made me very depressed. Last year, I think it was mostly positive.
Well, the 2023 edition, where we tried to temper your expectations, and we turned out to be wrong.
Yeah.
And you turned out to be right. And then I know the 2024 edition, I very clearly remember saying they may have they may be a better team, but not go as far as they did by winning that playoff game in Dallas the previous year. That turned out to be right, as they lost 2 games to the Lions, 2 to the Vikings, and 2 to the Eagles that season. Last year, we've spent so much time kind of dissecting it since January 10th. But again, I was talking to Matt LaFleur this week for my Madison Magazine story, and I just always, my mind always goes back to Denver. And that, when we look ahead now to 2026, I feel like it's kind of the running it back of, I feel really good about this team right now, and if they stay healthy enough, I will continue to feel good about this team, and if they don't, they're in a world of trouble.
That's where I want to start today. Rather than state of the quarterback or state of the defensive line, I want to start with state of the head coach. A fresh new contract extension for Matt LaFleur after 5 straight losses to end the season, including the blown lead in the wild card round at Chicago. They couldn't finish games, and that's been the big preaching point for Matt LaFleur this offseason, guys. But he is back in Green Bay, a couple new pieces around him, including a new special teams and defensive coordinator.
11 new coaches on the staff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a reinvention project to a point, but Matt LaFleur is still the man in charge. What do you make of what he's talked about so far this offseason and how he can come in maybe rejuvenated in 2026? We'll start with you, Jason.
Yeah, I don't know how you practice finishing. I just don't. You know how you finish? You have really good players on the field at the end of games. And if you don't have Tucker Kraft and you don't have Micah Parsons, you're not as good at finishing games.
Or Zach Tom.
Right. I mean, he left that Denver game, too, and people forget that. With a, by the way, partially torn patellar tendon Like, it wasn't like, oh, you got a little tweak, as I did when I fell down the steps at Wisconsin earlier this week at Sydney's volleyball tournament, which I'm still recovering from.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, but you weren't walking with a noticeable limp.
Sydney's still hoping that they can provide her the security footage
That's a good daughter.
so she can see how embarrassing I was.
And she wants to share it with the rest of us, too, once she gets a hold of it.
If we get our hands on it, I will definitely be happy to share it. Because if you're willing to run the scouting combine drills, I'm willing to show video of me falling down the stairs.
Appreciate that. Solidarity, yes.
But that's kind of how the Packers season went. They were going at their own 9-3-1. They're leading the Denver Broncos on the road, and then they literally trip and fall and land on their faces. And so I don't know how much of that is Matt LaFleur's fault. I know there's a very loud segment, and it's not small. I don't think it's a small group. I think it's a 33% group that is just really down on him, and that certainly did not help their view. But again, if we examine the 5 games they lost after they were sitting there at 9-3-1 and on the verge of being up 2 touchdowns on the number 1 seed in the AFC, things obviously go to hell in a handbasket in Denver with the injuries that happened in that game. Mm-hmm. And even with Christian Watson, who plays the next week but leaves in an ambulance, not ideal. Then obviously there's no excuse for the Baltimore game a couple of weeks later. But they're leading in Chicago 16-6 of the 2-minute warning, and if Romeo Doubs can just field an onside kick, that we're not looking at that game as a loss. And again, then they play the JV game that Tausch loves to tease me for covering, which again, it was great. The girls got to go to the Mall of America, and I got to see Clayton Tune be sacrificed to the football gods. But that's not like, yes, they lost the game, but it's not like they tried and lost the game, right? They did not put forth an effort. And then, again, there's no sugarcoating how the season ends. I get that. But again, you want to talk about injuries. Edgerrin Cooper is finally having an impact in a game, and then he leaves in the third quarter, and they give up 25 fourth-quarter points. And Micah Parsons is sitting in a suite with his leg elevated because he's had surgery on December 29th, and he's not able to help either. So I understand, hey, when something happens, you have to address it. And they have addressed, we're going to finish every play, we're going to run all the way to the end zone, and every drill we're going to finish competitively. That's great. But I still don't believe that translates over to what happens on game.
I tend to agree. I want to go to Gabe on this. Matt LaFleur entering year 8 as the head coach. Mm-hmm. You as a Packers fan, how do you view Matt LaFleur?
So I like Matt, and I feel like he does get beat up by the portion of the fan base Jason was referencing. When we were talking about, kind of around this and when coaches were getting fired and hired and we were going through the coaching carousel and we had Adam Schefter on, I like the way Shefty kind of phrased it. Like, if trying to figure out if you have a good coach. If your coach was fired today, how quickly would it take him to get a new job? And I think people would be lining up to hire Matt LaFleur because he is looked at, and again, I think that same portion of the fan base thinks he's a terrible play caller. That's not the fact. Mm-hmm. The people in the league look at him as a very good play caller, and they think he's one of the best at calling plays. And I know some people think, he gets too conservative at the end of games. Go back and watch the second half of the Bears game. That was not a team that turtled up and was going run, pass, and punt it away because it was 3rd and 8. Mm-hmm. They were trying to be aggressive in early downs.
Despite not protecting their quarterback very well.
That's the problem. The offensive line in the second half just didn't have an answer for whatever the Bears put in front of them. They just couldn't block.
Rasheed Walker wrote his contract in free agency in that game.
Yeah. There's a reason why we all thought, Rasheed's going to get this big-time contract. Packers getting a great compensatory pick. And then he hung out there and then signed a very underwhelming contract with the Carolina Panthers. So the offensive line underperformed. And when we get to the offensive line, I think that's an area of concern, certainly for this year for the Packers. I don't know how much of that's on Matt LaFleur, which is why whenever we have the Matt LaFleur conversation, I don't understand how him and Goody aren't just tied at the hip. Like, how are these guys just not tied together the team has underachieved the last 2 years. I feel LaFleur gets 60, 70% of that blame, and not a lot of it goes towards Brian Gutekunst.
I think more to Goody than there used to be.
Sure.
but
think
still not sufficient.
I don't know that I agree. I would say one guy traded for Micah Parsons, and that gives him a pass. I don't give him that same pass, but I think a portion of the fan base looks at Brian Gutekunst and said, hey, you made the big trade. You got rid of your beloved draft picks to bring in one of the best defensive players in football, who proved that until he went down in Denver, and I think that gives him more of a pass than LaFleur gets.
Which, again, I don't want to downplay the Micah move. It's fantastic. Matt LaFleur also developed Jordan Love to what he is.
Totally.
You remember what Jordan Love was the first game he started?
I do, very vividly.
Devontae Adams decided he don't want to be here because of that game. All right?
That's true.
That's true. I don't want to deal with this because there are a couple of hospital balls in Kansas City thrown his way because of that. But Jordan got better. And I give Matt LaFleur a lot of that.
Balls is good.
There are a couple, I think he's gotten better. I give Matt LaFleur a lot of that credit. But just because he was able to develop Jordan Love doesn't mean that everything else just gets to disappear. The offensive line last year is 100% on Brian Gutekunst. He decided to make some wholesale changes on that offensive line
because of the way that Philly game went.
Correct.
Overcorrecting, and maybe perhaps doing it again with the kicking situation this time around.
Yeah, and so, yes, he got Micah Parsons. But that one player, this isn't the NBA where acquiring that one star is going to shoot you to the top. You got to have a well-balanced team. And there are a lot of questions around this team that have to come together because, again, you're not going to be able to have superstars at every position, right? It's not the way it works in the NFL. But they need to be better than what they've been at cornerback, at the offensive line position, linebacker. Like there are positions where there have been some pretty big swings and misses over the course of time, and I'm not just going to give them a pass because I love the Micah Parsons move.
And I think Strouf makes a good point. I think before the Micah Parsons trade, you were hearing a lot more criticism of Goody, and I think that won him a lot of points with the fan base. And again, I would just caution this. And let me be very clear. I am really glad they traded for Micah Parsons. He has been great for me as a writer. He fills your notebook. He occasionally says things he shouldn't say out loud, as opposed to Jordan Love, who I like as a human being, but as a beat writer, he keeps it very vanilla by design, kind of like Mike McCarthy used to say, right? But what I would
Mike
say,
didn't always follow that, though.
No, he did not. But what I would say about the Micah Parsons trade, and our teammates at ESPN Chicago know this, because they made the trade for Khalil Mack in 2018 when the Packers wouldn't give up both their first-round picks and the Bears did. Khalil Mack did not guarantee them a berth in the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl. And while we are all excited, myself included, I still can't believe they traded for him. I really can't. And it's a great story, and it's great for all of us to talk about. Now he's going to miss 4, 5, 6. We don't know how many games he's going to miss. And you start to see, some fans get a little frustrated with him, whether that's fair or not. It doesn't guarantee anything. And he could come here for 4 years and rack up double-digit sacks every season, and they could still not advance to a Super Bowl. It doesn't guarantee you anything.
I'm not in the mood for drama tonight, Jason, but how do you see the temperature in terms of the seats of Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst?
So I don't think they're like ice cold, like a delicious bubbler drink that I'm hoping to have down at their stand later.
Every year, man.
It is.
Every year without fail.
It's my favorite. But I think the temperature is very high, but I think it would turn very quickly if they were not very good this year and it's not because of injuries. And I don't see that being the case, but I don't think contracts that you sign guarantee you much of anything other than they will have to pay you out if you're not working.
Pro Football Focus did a coaches on the hot seat list, because we're at the list part of the offseason.
Sure are.
Listicle season. Yep.
But where they put Matt LaFleur, they also put Nick Sirianni on this list. It was check back in January. Because, the seat's not hot right now, but if the Packers miss the playoffs.
Yeah, they go 8-9. We're having an interesting conversation.
Unless, and I'm not hoping this happens, but unless Jordan Love gets hurt, that's going to be a really hot seat if they miss the playoffs.
It's hard to imagine them with the roster they have if it stays comparatively healthy, not being a 6-7 seed at minimum. I would also say, though, that the playoffs matter, and I'm not saying that if they play a first-round game and lose again that he's going to lose his job. I'm not saying that, and so don't clip that because that's not what I'm saying. But there will be a very strong reaction. And the one thing that I wasn't sure about last year, as in the wee hours of the morning, I drove back from Chicago after that playoff game, was what is Ed policy? Who is Ed policy, and how is he going to handle people? Now, we saw he gave the extensions, and he claimed that he had decided on that before anything happened down the stretch. If they have another season where they bottomed out at the end of the year, which I'm not predicting, does Ed policy have a different view? That part we don't know.
If they lose another playoff game in similar fashion, I would imagine it's a high possibility.
If it's a wild card game. If it's an NFC Championship game, I think you're having a different conversation.
I asked this of Tausch, and I know you're very focused on breaks because you're such a professional, so you want to get to a break.
Well, because we want to make sure we don't shortchange any positions.
Yeah, right. So, but I asked this of Tausch. Last season, let's say they hold on to win in Chicago. They would have gone to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle beat San Francisco 41-6.
Yep.
If the Green Bay Packers win the Bears game, go to Seattle, and get beat 41-6, how differently are they and Matt LaFleur viewed?
I think the tenor's the exact same.
I don't. I don't think so. I think that one game, especially
just
who
because
it was
against,
is just an albatross around his neck.
You look at 41-6, and you're just,
we had a lot of injuries.
Look at the guys they didn't have.
Sure.
Right.
And,
That's what they're doing with the 49ers by losing that way.
100%. Like, it gets written off a lot quicker.
Sure.
Versus losing to who you lost to a guy who revels in beating you
That's
and Ben
another
Johnson.
part of it. Oh.
And losing the way in which you did. That lingers more than
I don't know. Like, a can ass whooping like that is not a dish that goes down easily.
Yeah, but if it's not at the hands
Oh, you're over it by halftime, man. Like, that's one of those ones where I'm just
I was in year one of Matt LaFleur, right? I think it was 2019 where they got whooped by San Fran.
Right, but
is that right?
The 49ers, yes, in the NFC Championship
Correct.
game, though. But again, the 49ers had the same injury problems the Packers did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they got one game farther. But the reality is I think we would have been talking the same way 49ers fans talked.
Yes.
They didn't have any of their guys, et cetera, et cetera. Again, and you made a great point. Losing to – and is he going to be in these Hallmark Channel movies, or are they just partnering with them?
I hope so. I hope
want
he's taking
that to be ammunition against him.
I'm hoping instead of practicing on Wednesday, sorry, guys, we got to cut this thing short. I got a couple more scenes I got to shoot.
As the guy that wanted them to be good for the storyline, the regret I have is just how douchey their head coach is.
We'll leave it at that.
I think that's a good place to
Thank you for taking responsibility for Ben Johnson's douchiness.
Yes, that's Wilde's fault. Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf with you. It's our annual State of the Packers show, coming off of a 23-touchdown, 6-interception season. His best yet. It's time to talk about the state of the quarterback. Go, Pack, go, indeed. Kyle Wallace on his wedding day?
Aren't you getting married today? What are you doing here?
20-some years streak.
What's happening? Wow, this is unbelievable. We're going to break. State of the quarterback is next. Let's State of the Packers.
Back with more on the Packers coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Craig Karmzin. When I think about the most important moments of my life, being born, having a bar mitzvah, having a kid, none of them compare to getting my first basketball hoop. And I've done it multiple times with Precision Sports. They are the experts. They know ball, and they are the ones who can do it. So if you're going to make that life-changing, memorable decision, you're going to put up that hoop, you're going to put up that court, you're going to get the lines done, however you want to do it in the right way with the best. The way I did it. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote. That's Precision Sports Online, and your jumper is going to be as good as mine in no time.
Best time of the year, it's patio season. Hey, it's Alex Strouf, and no better place to soak in patio season than Veer North on Milwaukee's East Side. Veer North brings the energy with a spacious patio, elevated food, and craft cocktails perfect for summer nights. Headed to a game? Start here and hop on the shuttle straight to the ballpark. Same goes for Summerfest and all your favorite festivals, pregame, postgame, or stay for the whole night. Live music, great vibes, and a menu that goes way beyond the basics. Veer North is not your average sports bar. Veer North, Milwaukee's go-to for summer fun.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Hey, it's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Summer is here, and if your home already feels warmer than it should, your windows could be working against you. Right now, buy 4 windows, you get 4 free. That's one of the biggest offers of the year. Plus, you'll get 48 months of 0% interest financing, same as cash. Call 414-410-2000 or visit universalwindowsdirect.com to schedule your free estimate today. Buy 4 windows, get 4 free in 48 months of interest-free payments, and like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Are you starting college, moving to a new apartment, or just looking to create a new vibe in your college living? Make IKEA your first stop for everything you need to create a college space that's all you. Whether you're looking to add color with cozy bedding, organize your dorm with smart storage solutions, or find that perfect sleeper sofa for those weekend visits, IKEA has your college life covered. And verified college students get 15% off when they sign up for IKEA Family. It's free and packed with rewards. So go grab your roommate and head to IKEA Oak Creek or shop online at ikea.us or the IKEA app.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
Hey, it's Brian Balaga. Find the Homer Hour on the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to the State of the Packers on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Back to Alex, Gabe, and Jason.
State of the Packers 2026 continues live from the Gruber Loves Sports Zone at Summerfest. Bears fans walking by, I assume. We just got booed. Hot start.
I don't know if somebody was getting booed.
I think it was Strouf.
It was probably me, yeah. Who are we kidding? It was me. Alex Strouf, Gabe Neitzel, Jason Wilde with you until 3 o'clock this afternoon. We just did the state of the head coach. We'll get back to Matt LaFleur a little bit later in the program, probably in the 2 o'clock hour. But it's time to go position by position, and let's start with the position. It's state of the quarterback. Of course, Jordan Love, a year now into that massive contract. Really good season for him, all things considered, last year. 23 touchdown passes in the regular season, only 6 interceptions. Of course, in the playoff game, he was awesome for 3/4 of it. 4 touchdowns thrown against the Bears in that playoff game and no turnovers for him.
I thought he was awesome for all 4 quarters.
They just couldn't get a first down in the third quarter.
That wasn't him.
Well, that's true. It wasn't his fault. They just couldn't do anything offensively. Regardless, he was really, really good last year. Obviously dealt with a couple of injuries throughout, but all things considered, it seems all 3 years he's been a starter, improvement. Right? Fair to say?
Very fair to say.
And I think this is a year that they are going to let it rip a little bit more, I think,
Tend to agree.
with Jordan. On the list of we're going back to year one things of Matt LaFleur, to me, is kind of going back to being more of a pass-first team. I mean, again, that's easier to do when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, right? But I think that's a situation where we're going to get back to doing some of the play-action stuff that this offense is designed to do. Yeah, we'll probably have a bunch of other stuff. You know, it started, I think, with the conversation you guys had with Joe Thomas, and Joe's saying, hey, I think they're going to go back to do more outside zone stuff. And if Josh Jacobs is uncomfortable with that, They'll figure it out.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Right? So I think that they're putting the ball in Jordan Love's hands, I believe, a little bit more this year, which I think is smart because, A, it keeps Josh Jacobs fresh because he's continues to get up there in age. You don't know what you have behind Josh Jacobs, so relying more on your $50 million or $55 million a year quarterback, to me, is a smart thing.
The other piece of it not only being smart, though, Gabe, is he's earned it. He's proven his worth in this league through 3 years as a starting quarterback. He's shown he can make the plays. He's shown he's cut way down on the turnovers and questionable decisions. Now, he still has some from time to time, just like any quarterback in the NFL. But I think he's earned that responsibility. Jason, to you, on Jordan Love, you've covered, obviously, every year of his career, but the last 3 as a starter. You said it's very fair to say he's improved every year. What's your outlook for 2026 on number 10?
Yeah, I think this is a pivotal year where he has to go from good. I mean, you said really, really good. I don't know how many reallys I would use, maybe 1, not 2.
Really good?
But I think it's a pivotal year for him. And again, this is the kind of stuff that, there's a portion of the fan base that if you're not just ranting and raving about how great he is, then you must be a hater of him. And I am in no way that. But you brought up the contract. And I understand, we all say that's the cost of doing business in the NFL right now at quarterback. Well, it was the cost of doing business for the Miami Dolphins, too, and they were regretting spending that money. In no way do the Packers regret paying him, but if we're going to use his contract as some sort of baseline on what we should expect from him, 23 touchdowns and 6 picks, I think we can probably expect more.
Sure.
Right? I mean, look, I'm not saying that he's Aaron Rodgers, even though many people want him to be and want us to put him in that category. But 23 touchdowns in a season for Aaron Rodgers is a disappointing season. And when he said that, I know he came off a little bit douchey. Some guys' career seasons are a bad season for me when Rodgers said that. But he wasn't wrong.
He was right, yeah.
And so in Jordan's case, I mean, this is a year where, I think you want to see him throw 35 touchdown passes and 8 picks or whatever it ends up being. The number one thing, though, and I don't think we want to turn this into a referendum on Tyrod Taylor as the backup, but he has missed time each of the last 2 years. Now, he misses that Baltimore game and lost in the 307 rushing yards they gave up, is that Malik Willis had 3 incompletions in that game. I mean, they did not lose because Malik Willis had a play. But again, what does it look like with Tyrod Taylor? Is Jordan Love able to start all 7 and finish all 17 games? And if he is, what does this season look like? I think it's fair to expect, because I think Jordan expects more. And that's my biggest frustration when I say these things about him and people get irritated. Like, Jordan Love expects to do more. I went to his charity event where he gave away the cleats, which is an awesome initiative that he does. And he's like, I only had 23 touchdowns. Like, we should be giving away more cleats because they're based on his touchdowns.
Yeah.
And he wants more. And I think, to your point, it is incumbent on this team and this coaching staff to say, all right, we're going to have our stud tight end, who is the best tight end in football and was leading all tight ends in receiving yardage at the time of his injury. You've got your big play wide receiver that you just signed to an extension. You've got your underrated slot wide receiver, who some people don't appreciate how good they are. And you've got your first-round pick
who the coaching staff doesn't play him.
And you have your first-round pick that you expect to elevate in year 2. Give Jordan Love the opportunity to spread the ball around to those guys. You have chosen to streamline your pass-catching options. Now it's time for all of those guys to elevate.
So the reason why I brought up the contract is because in the NFL, and even though the cap keeps going up and up and up, it seems like there are a couple of different ways now to win Super Bowls, because we saw this last year with Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold's not making top-end quarterback money.
No, he's not.
So when he's not making top-end quarterback money, you're able to go out and spend money in other places and have some different dynamic playmakers in some different spots. When you're paying your quarterback what the Packers are paying Jordan Love, he has to play to a level where he starts elevating everybody. And I think he can do that. But I would argue at this point, and I don't mean this as an insult, he's probably been playing on the level that Sam Darnold was last year when they won the Super Bowl. which means in order to win a Super Bowl, you need to have a lot more playmakers around him. He needs to start elevating, and that's why you can't have a guy like Dontavian Wicks, and you have to say goodbye to Dontavian this offseason before he even gets to the end of his rookie deal. Those are some of the little cost-cutting measures you have to do. So Jordan has to try to elevate Bo Melton if Bo has to play, or Savion Williams if he has to play, instead of, if there's an injury to Watson, Reed, or Matthew Golden. So I think Jordan can do it. That, to me, is the next step for him, where you're seeing him start to elevate people. You brought up Terry Mickens when we were having this conversation earlier this week when Homer was filling in on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. But there was a game where Terry Mickens had to play in 96 because of injuries. He had 2 touchdowns against the Detroit Lions. Yep. And a lot of that's because Terry was ready, and a lot of it is because Brett Favre can make guys look a little bit better than they actually are. And I think that's the next step in the evolution of Jordan Love. I think we've gotten to the level of, because last year it was, okay, can you play on a consistent basis? Can you be the guy we want you to be consistently? And I think he did that for the most part last year. Now the next step is, okay, now you have to start elevating the play of those around you. And I think going back to year one basics for Matt LaFleur is going to help him do that in 2026.
Well, you mentioned it. His leading receiver from last year is now in New England. There's serious questions around your leading rusher from last year and how many games he'll be eligible for, as I mentioned, Josh Jacobs. So, yeah, it's Jordan Love's offense. I think he's earned it, but also there's some other circumstances that come along with that. You're smiling ear to ear. What's going on?
I'm just glad Gabe said all those things because he'll be the one who gets clipped for saying that. That was great. I agree with everything he said, and it was very eloquently said, and I didn't have to say a word. I just stood here and smiled.
Somebody clip that. You said, Jason, something to the effect of, we're not asking him to be Aaron Rodgers, as great as that would be, because Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented quarterbacks we've ever witnessed in the National Football League.
Tom Brady thinks he's the best to ever do it in terms of actual talent.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to argue against that. Nonetheless, he won 4 MVPs in Green Bay. I'm not asking Jordan Love to win 4 of them, but it seems like this season a very good opportunity to at least be in the mix if he plays all 17.
Yeah, if he plays the way you expect him to, he will be in the mix. Look, again, I am very eager to see how they approach things offensively. This offense is designed, and it's not anyone can do it. When you look back on the history, the fact that Sean McVay called about Aaron Rodgers' availability after they drafted Jordan Love and went through the proper channels. And then Kyle Shanahan went behind their back and got away with tampering, which I'm glad Matt LaFleur and Kyle kind of made up eventually, but I'm not great at forgiveness, and there was clearly something sketchy that went on there. Nothing was proven, but I just have my curiosities. But again, the reason why both those guys pursued him was because not everyone, it's not that easy of an offense that anybody can do it. That's why Jared Goff wasn't good enough, and they went and got Matthew Stafford. It's why Trey Lance wasn't good enough, and they were fortunate that they got a guy in the 7th round as Mr. Irrelevant in Brock Purdy who was able to do it. Jordan Love is good enough for them to win with, like the Seattle Seahawks did this year with Sam Darnold. But to the point of the contract, that's not what you didn't pay him to be a guy that you win with. You paid him to be a guy that you win because of. And Aaron Rodgers was a guy that you won because of. And is Jordan Love going to elevate to be that guy? Great story if it happens. Is he capable of it? Absolutely. Is it going to happen? That's why we're here to chronicle the journey.
Well said. Quick footnote in State of the Quarterback before we get to State of the Pass Catchers coming up next. Tyrod Taylor, you mentioned him briefly. He's the new backup in town.
Not even Tyrod Taylor knows how we're supposed to say his name.
Were you
asked
him?
To him? Yes.
What did he say?
He said either one is fine.
I thought he said it was Tyrod.
You got to push back, Jason. You got to say, no, you tell me how to pronounce your name.
Believe me, I agree. But I had other things I wanted to ask him about.
All right,
let somebody else handle that.
So I'm going to call him Tyrod. Tyrod Taylor's the new backup in town. Obviously, Malik Willis departs. He goes to Miami.
Alex.
But I think it's nicely done. I think it's interesting from the sense of Brian Gutekunst in terms of veterans, right? When Jordan Love took over as the starter in 2023, I think a lot of us were like, oh, it'd be great to bring in a veteran backup. We know it's his team, but somebody to learn from. And they went with Sean Clifford instead. And then ultimately it was Malik Willis who backed him up the previous 2 years. Now it's a veteran, a guy that's been around the block a few times. What do you make of that signing? Of course, as a Packers fan, me and Gabe are both going to look at you and say, I hope we don't find out in the regular season, but what do you make of it?
I hope we don't find out in the postseason either.
Right. And
preseason I'm okay with, though.
And if that ends up being the case, great, because what he will then provide while not having to play is unlike anything Jordan Love has had during his career. Obviously, he had Aaron Rodgers, the savvy veteran, to teach him things, but he was the backup.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's got the guy who's there whose sole purpose is to help him every week because he's the starter. And it's a different dynamic than being in the same room with Aaron Rodgers when Aaron's the starter and you're the young guy coming up. So I think it's great for him. I still think that Malik Willis to me fits the suit that you were talking about with Sam Darnold.
Mm-hmm.
Like what the Miami Dolphins did, and they're not going to win anything this year because they don't have anybody on their team.
A lot of dead money.
At least they get the Jets twice a year.
Right, but what if they stick by Malik Willis as they build? Because his contract's kind of a 2 years, and then we'll see kind of a deal too, maybe even 1 year, and we'll see. If you build that way, you give yourself a chance to have a chance if you spend money wisely elsewhere. And again, the Packers have 2 quarterback contracts on their roster. One is Jordan Love, but the other is the guy that rushes the passer. And that's a lot of money in 2 guys, and we'll be waiting to see how exactly they spend their other money.
Speaking of spending money, Christian Watson and Jaden Reed both with new contracts. Tucker Kraft likely up next. State of the Pass Catchers is up next. It's State of the Packers, ESPN Wisconsin.
More football talk coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Service and savings. It's Woodman.
Hi, we're the Woodmans. I'm Clint.
I'm Phil, saving you tons of money in the meat department.
20-ounce Simply Potatoes, 2 for $5 or $2.59 each, or 1 pound Indiana Kitchen Bacon, $3.99.
Ikarama hot prices in the meat department.
Simply Potatoes, 2 for $5 or Indiana Kitchen Bacon, $3.99.
Enjoy these great prices in the meat department.
Better products, better prices, better service, because we're employee-owned.
It's Woodman's.
Meet Matthew Preston. Inside his apartment, everything he holds dear is protected by Progressive's Renter's Insurance, like his laptop and a surprisingly valuable collection of baseball bobbleheads. Outside his apartment, his laptop is still protected, as are his bobbleheads, which he carries around with him for reasons no one knows. Renters, the limits of protection aren't just the 4 walls of your home. When you're in Progressive's Protection Zone, get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and third-party insurers.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-486-9600. That's 800-486-9600.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And while buying a home is a big deal, it certainly doesn't have to be and shouldn't be a stressful experience. At Great Midwest Bank, we combine competitive rates, fast pre-approvals, and honest advice from knowledgeable loan officers to help you every step of the way through your home buying or building journey. For 90 years, our customers have been part of the GMB family. Experience a state of tranquility at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation, and it definitely shouldn't feel like a game. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin believes in straightforward pricing, honest conversations, and helping homeowners find the right fit for their home. Because a fair final price matters more than some flashy discount. Pella never inflates pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. And when you buy direct through Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, one trusted team handles everything from start to finish. The same company that manufactures your windows and doors is also the one selling, installing, and servicing them with Pella certified installers every step of the way. That means confidence in the process, confidence in the product, and one team standing behind the work from beginning to end. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
What life events have you experienced over the past couple of years? Well, maybe one is coming up. The sale of a company, death, divorce, a health crisis, or helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at AnnexWealth.com.
See the best of ESPN Milwaukee by subscribing to our YouTube channel.
What the hell happened to your hair? What do you mean? Yeah, the front is fine, but you look like Lloyd Christmas in the back. Right there, just stay still. Oh my God, YouTube.
ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to the State of the Packers on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Back to Alex, Gabe, and Jason.
State of the Packers, live from Summerfest, continues the 2026 edition. Dancing Jason Wilde.
That's a good tune. Is that royalty free?
Sure is, yeah, sure is.
I have to put that on my playlist.
The great Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strouf.
Jason Wilde running list.
Hey,
Jason Wilde royalty free running list.
Again, I always like to add
the visual that just brought to my mind. Him on the treadmill.
Yeah, it's right.
It's got a good pace. It's got a good beat for running.
It does. By the way, we love musical artists who pour their heart and soul into their music. We're not royalty free because we don't want to pay royalties. We have for a long time.
Royalty-free music is still made by people.
Well, I understand, but they're not getting any royalties from it. Otherwise, it would be.
That's true.
Right? And so, again, we blame YouTube, but I do miss.
We used to pay I think we still do pay.
We do
the company,
still pay
yes.
it. We just don't. You can't play it on YouTube. They have stricter rules.
Well, there you go. There's a look behind the curtain.
I just
brought
think
to you by
it's
Jason
important.
Wilde.
I don't want to look like some sort of cheapskate who doesn't want to pay people royalties.
All due respect,
Musicians
I don't think
work very hard.
All due respect, I don't think anybody thought that was your call. I know you have a lot of pull around here, but I don't.
First of all, no. I think that's been demonstrated many times. Secondly, back to the Packers.
Let's get to the Packers and let's get to the pass catchers. State of the pass catchers. I'm grouping wide receivers and
skipped
tight ends
running backs.
together.
You went pass catchers first.
We're gonna go running backs next. Yes,
It's
because
out of order.
we're yeah, but
It's
Jordan,
out of
you want to run the show, man?
Well, I used to when I first started.
Christian Watson signs a 4-year, $110.5 million contract extension this
$92
offseason.
million.
Yes, right, you're right. What's guaranteed on that? 31?
31.
Jaden Reed, 3-year, $50.25 million contract extension.
$20 million guaranteed.
We assume Tucker Kraft is up next. All three of those guys will stick around as Romeo Dobbs departs. He goes to New England in free agency. Dontavian Wicks is traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Jason, I feel like in past renditions of the show, we've kind of said the Packers view their superpower offensively as their depth at pass catcher. They've kind of veered away from that this offseason as they've
because it was never a superpower.
They believed it to be, though, right? That's fair to say?
I think
you are having a really good show. So I'll state that for the record.
They believed it to be, sure.
They were wrong.
You can believe a lot of things.
So to go back to what Jason said earlier about the offensive line, maybe overcorrecting a little bit and going to the guys they believe in, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, and Tucker Kraft. What should we make of this philosophy change at pass catcher? We'll start there, Jason.
I don't know. I don't. And what I've struggled with is that there is part of me, and I talked to Randall Cobb about this. I talked to James Jones about this. It's really going to be for my Channel 3000 season preview. I'm going to focus on that. There's so many things to focus on, right? New defensive coordinator, all kinds of storylines. What we just talked about with Jordan Love elevating to a higher plane of playing quarterback. Lots of angles. But to me, the most fascinating one about this team is less more or is less less, right? Because, I will admit I have fallen for the banana in the tailpipe. That's Beverly Hills
Beverly
Cop
Hills,
reference.
yep.
A few times. Like, I found Martellus Bennett to be engaging. And then he got the...
He was, and then he defended Aaron Rodgers, and everybody was fired up, and he was great, and then he stopped showing up for work.
Yeah, then he caught a shoulder injury from standing by Aaron Rodgers with a broken collarbone and then blamed the medical staff because he just didn't want to play. But I've fallen for a lot of, not a lot, but a few. I fell for Andre Rison being a different person. Huge piece of the 1996 team winning the Super Bowl, but no, that didn't really change as a person.
He changed for
a couple months.
As
but
long as he needed to.
I fell for the all for one and one for all wide receiver group because it did make sense to me, and they all had different kind of specialties, right, that made them valuable. But as it turned out, you really could not keep them all happy. And then Matt LaFleur at the NFL meetings confesses publicly and unprovoked, which I still think is important to underscore, that there were guys that were disgruntled and unhappy with their roles, and I'm quoting here, that took a toll on our football team last year.
Yeah, it's not like the question was, hey, Matt, you guys have any unhappy players last year?
So I think that tells you a lot. And look, I'm not saying that was Dontavion Wicks. I'm not saying that was Romeo Dobbs. It may have been, right?
There's a history with Romeo.
Possible, right? But, like, I don't know. There's part of me that would feel better about their wide receiver group if they had that one other guy, and it was Dontavion Wicks. But they did get 2 draft picks for him, one in each of the last year's draft and this coming year's draft. So how do I quibble with that pick that decision by Goody? I can't.
Plus, it opens up, more playing time for
your
your guy, Bo Melton.
Yes, who I think
he's fully back to being a wide receiver, right?
He is indeed. And again, as I told Chewy and Gabe earlier this week on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, he is I'm going to my 31st season. I have never seen a player on any team I've covered that is more beloved by his teammates than that guy. There's lots of guys that have loved lots of teammates, but it is universal with him. And I think he probably gets short shrifted as that dude's caught some pretty big-time touchdowns.
Yeah, Bears at Lambeau last year.
Bears game at Lambeau last year. The game in Minnesota when he wasn't even on the roster yet.
Those are his only 2 touchdowns.
No, then he had one in the playoff game
the playoff
in San Francisco.
Game. The playoff game. He's got 2 regular season touchdowns, yes.
But with the limited opportunities he's gotten and the fact that he was allegedly a corner, look, I don't want to spend all the pass catcher time talking about
Bo Melton.
My point is that we're going to find out if less is more or less is less.
I think less is more, though.
I agree.
I hated the way that they did things. I was very vocal about it because it just did not make sense to me. It just did not make sense to go, one of these guys is going to be really good this game. We don't know which one.
Yeah.
So, and I think that affects your play calling. It affects one of Chewy's things that he has always been confused about the last couple of years is where are the bread and butter plays? And then he rattles off Fox to XY hook because that was his favorite play when he was playing. And like we could run that play and do this.
Blast.
Yeah, you could do all these things. And I think it's hard to have bread and butter plays when you're going into a game of, we're just going to ride the hot hand today. And it's going to take us a while to figure out who that hot hand is, and maybe that hot hand ends up being Dontavion Wicks, and he makes an amazing catch on 4th down on Thanksgiving that clinches you the game in Detroit. But going into a game, having a clear hierarchy, this is our 1, this is our 2, and somebody can still get hot, and you can then pivot if somebody, you like a matchup or you're riding the hot hand, but not really having an idea of who your number 1 receiver was going to be week to week just never made sense to me. We always talk about, whenever we were talking about the Packers having all these pass catchers, think about the Sports Illustrated cover, and they had all those guys. There was still a clear hierarchy with every one of those guys, and every one of them knew what their role was. And I think it's going to be easier knowing that, yes, going into a game, Christian Watson's going to play a ton. And he's going to be our number 1 wide receiver. And Jaden Reed's going to play a ton out of the slot. And Matthew Golden's going to be opposite of that. And then Tucker Kraft is probably going to be the guy they feature in this offense as a pass catcher. And having those roles defined, I think, makes it easier to have bread and butter plays, to keep guys happy, and have guys live up to the production we think they can live up to because, again, we have not had a 1,000-yard receiver since Davante Adams was a Green Bay Packer. And the last year he played was 2021 in Green Bay. By the way, it's 2026.
It's been a few years. As I hear you go on and on over there, I can't help but think their identity at pass catcher was, we have all these guys, but it was truly just an identity crisis. And now it seemingly have an identity.
Is strong, but it was an undefined identity for sure.
Isn't that the definition of an identity crisis? An unidentified identity?
Maybe.
Fair enough.
It was one of those things where you hear people talk about all the depth that they have a certain position, but you don't know if any of the depth is actually good and it's just a bunch of bodies.
Yeah.
It's better than that because as much
that
as
would be a crisis.
Yeah. As much as I would rag on Romeo Doubs at times, Romeo Doubs is a pretty good wide receiver. He's not a number one wide receiver.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's just not a number one wide receiver. That's fine. You can still have a long career. Just signed a huge contract. He's not going to be the number one guy in New England.
That's why they traded for A.J. Brown.
But he's still going to have a pretty good role, I think, as a number two. And just not, again, having those defined roles makes it harder for everyone. Now, if you have injuries, that complicates things versus if you had injuries last year. But that navigating injuries is just part of the NFL. And when you have these defined roles, I think it's also easier to kind of backfill where you go, all right, now you have to step up in this role and you have to step up, and just having more defined roles is going to make life easier, I think, on everybody offensively.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Let's do this. Biggest question mark or biggest concern for the pass catcher group? Gabe, I'll start with you.
Depth. Savion Williams, he obviously the Packers like him. He was a third-round pick. That is a high investment in that position. But with some of the injuries that he had last year, he had the great catch. It was a fun catch when he had the contested catch, but we just don't know what he is. And if you have any sort of injury to any of the top three, he's next in line. Is he going to be ready to go for that? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if the Packers know the answer to that right now. So that depth is, to me, the biggest question, because I think they've got enough top-end guys, and they're paying enough top-end guys, right? But the depth is the biggest question mark.
Jason?
Paying them top end, but not paying them top end money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, to me, the fact that they managed to keep those guys on what I will still argue is a discounted rate because of their injuries in Jaden Reed's case last year, in Christian Watson's case throughout his time, is the best thing that could have happened to them. And I know there were some that didn't like it. I don't.
The thing about, again, I'm coming from the Jaden Reed hater here, I think the Christian Watson contract seems fair. The guaranteed money was the thing that shocked me there.
Correct.
The total money for Jaden Reed was what shocked me there. Because I think he may have left. Christian doesn't think he left money on the table because he thinks he's going to go out there and earn every dollar of that contract plus incentives. Jaden Reed, I think, legitimately left money on the table.
Yeah, there's no doubt he did. And one of the reasons why not only am I not a hater, but he's one of my go-to guys in the locker room, is because I'm able to walk up to him and say, did you screw this up? I feel like the minute I saw the numbers, I was like, he could have gotten way more than that. and I think he's, again, there's an authenticity to him that, look, you can quibble with how they use him. You can talk about the injuries. I mean, again, I've never been called a hack to the degree that I was when I reported that he was trying to play with a Jones fracture in his foot, because nobody does that. Well, guess what?
He did.
That's exactly what he did. And then when he had his collarbone repaired surgically, he also had the Jones fracture. So it worked out great for him. He got 2 for the price of 1 on the surgeries. But that's the kind of guy he is. Like, he's legitimately that guy. He's got a lot of Randall Cobb to him, both in terms of how they could use him and just in his attitude. And I think you need guys like that. So I think that's money well spent. I still can't believe, like, when you look at what Alec Pierce got guaranteed or Drake London got guaranteed compared to what Watson, and that was Watson's explanation to us, well, I'm going to earn all that money by playing. Great. I hope you do. But that's not how NFL contracts work. You want as much guaranteed as possible. So, again, the biggest question to me is, will less really be more? I happen to believe it will be, because I am from the school that, like the Old Testament where, like, Abraham begat Isaac, that whole thing, right? Like, it was Sterling Sharp begat Robert Brooks, who begat Antonio Freeman, who begat Donald Driver, Greg Jennings, Jordy Nelson, Devontae Adams. And then when they strayed away from that, you're telling me that if he's still on that team in 2022, A, they make the playoffs even though Rodgers broke his thumb, and B, it allows Christian Watson or Romeo Doubs those years to develop as the 2 or the 3, and just like Devontae Adams moved ahead of Jordy, and And that's the one thing that I will hold against Goody forever, because his argument to me was when I said, explain to me why you couldn't keep Jordy Nelson for one more year. He would have stunted the growth of Davante Adams because Aaron would have seen him as his number one. Well, then you haven't talked to Jordy Nelson, Davante Adams, and Aaron Rodgers because everybody knew after that Dallas game. I saw a clip on social media of Davante Adams retelling this story where they throw the third down pass in the end zone and Rodgers misfires, and he comes back to the huddle and says, throw the same blanking ball. And he leaves the huddle while he's supposed to be calling the play.
Doesn't he say,
right.
but throw it better?
Right, but throw it better. I mean, and if you had him, then you have a different. So now I'm curious to see, with Christian Watson being in the role he is, will that work the way it used to work?
So you believe the begatting would have happened?
I do.
Is that a verb?
Yeah, it is.
I use that correctly?
It is now.
I mean, it's an Old
Thanks,
Testament verb. Nobody's walking around Summerfest saying begat.
Well, you are.
Yeah, I'm the only one.
Okay, got it.
And you did, just to quote me.
Yeah, correct. The big concern for me is health. Can Christian Watson stay healthy for all 17? What will Tucker Kraft be when he returns? Those are the two big question marks for me.
Right, I'm confident in both of those.
Good. Because I think Tucker Kraft is a super
and as shocking as it is that the dude left a game in an ambulance last year, Christian Watson played in every game he could after he came back from the ACL.
And
which is a step in the positive direction.
The one full game those two played together, by the way, in Pittsburgh was maybe the best game for the offense.
Yeah. Love threw for 360.
Sans the Bears game in the playoffs?
I think he was even better in that game. He 360 passing yards. Tucker Kraft 7 for 143 and 2 touchdowns. Watson 4 for 84. Like that's what your offense. That's what the image is that they have in their heads for 20.
Oh yeah, and added Matthew Golden, more appearances on the football field,
and more Bo Melton.
Which we can all hope for. That is your state of the pass catchers. We didn't skip it; we just moved it. State of the running backs: Josh Jacobs, Marshawn Lloyd. Who is Marshawn Lloyd? We'll talk about that coming up next. State of the Packers 2026 on ESPN Wisconsin.
Chris Brooks is upset.
Back with more on the Packers coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Your premier Michigan golf getaway includes rounds at Sweetgrass and Sage Run. Book Monday through Wednesday for best availability. Savor elevated dining and unwind at the full-service Drift Spa between rounds. Grab quick bites in the expanded Sage Run Clubhouse or refresh overlooking the 9th and 18th at Sweetgrass. It's all part of an unforgettable golf experience at Island Resort and Casino. Plan your getaway at islandresortgolf.com.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
An uninspired, cookie-cutter trade show booth is unlikely to move the needle.
Picture this: lights, motion, energy, engagement. A space so bold it stops people mid-step.
That's what the award-winning team at Captivate Exhibits has been delivering for over 30 years.
From high-impact trade show exhibits to immersive lobbies, history walls, and culture-driven interiors, Captivate transforms ordinary square footage into unforgettable brand experiences.
Get started today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
As we celebrate Independence Day in 250 years of American freedom, there's never been a better time to invest in the place you call home. Maybe it's that roof you've been meaning to replace, those drafty windows you've learned to live with, or that bathroom you've wanted to update for years. Whatever project you've been putting off, Exterior Pros and Baths can help. This Independence Day, you can save up to $3,000 on your next project. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
Wisconsin, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. Beer. Specifically, great beer. And if you haven't met Yuengling yet, allow me to introduce you. Yuengling is the oldest brewery in America, founded in Pottsville, PA in 1829. 197 years, 6 generations of family-owned brewing. Do you know how they became America's oldest brewery? By making great beer. This is a real American beer. Smooth, rich, and finally here in Wisconsin. So grab a Yuengling, raise a glass, and celebrate history the way it was meant to be celebrated, by drinking it. Yuengling, the oldest brewery in America. D.G. Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA.
Enjoy responsibly.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
People hear Horicon Bank and they think local instantaneously.
Over the years, was able to help them in their later years when they needed some care. So I would say that was cradle to grave experience for me.
We encounter precious moments like this all the time. We have a trust administration department that can help.
Our motto is together as a bank and as an organization, and then doing good.
There's amazing success stories of small business entrepreneurs who now are multi-million-dollar companies.
Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. Member FDIC.
Looking to transform your home with stylish furniture and home accessories without breaking the bank? At your local IKEA in Oak Creek, they believe everyone deserves a beautiful and affordable living experience that enhances your everyday life. From comfortable and fashionable sofas and sectionals, to kitchens full of inspiration, to bedrooms designed to help you find your best sleep and relaxation, IKEA's home furnishing combines form and function to fit any lifestyle and budget. Visit IKEA Oak Creek today or explore their collection online at ikea.com/US.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. You're listening to the State of the Packers on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Back to Alex, Gabe, and Jason.
State of the Packers continues live from Summerfest. Jason Wilde, Gabe Neitzel, I'm Alex Strouf, just outside of the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone on this beautiful Saturday at Henry Meyer Festival Park. We're getting through the offense, state of the offense, and coming up next we will hit state of the running back, which is a unique one, given some offseason circumstances with Josh Jacobs, who about a month ago turned himself into police, but we haven't really heard anything since. The Brown County District Attorney has not formally pressed any charges against him in regards to a potential domestic violence case. Jason, I'm going to go to you. What's the latest with Josh Jacobs? What's the latest you've heard?
The same thing that it has been. And I think the more time goes by, it leads you to wonder what will the end game actually be, and could there be nothing at all that ends up coming of this? Now, again, I think we have to be not only respectful but cautious when we talk about subjects like this. At the same time, I think the Brown County District Attorney's comments, I remember talking to you about this when it first happened, they say it requires more investigation to determine whether charges will be brought, and if so, what. And I just found it to be significant, that one word. I'm a stickler for words. It wasn't.
So are attorneys, so.
Indeed. It wasn't further investigation needs to be done to determine which charges will be filed. And so I don't know, but I know this. They have declined all Freedom of Information Act requests for further information, and it makes me wonder why they're doing that as well. I think it's more likely than not that this will not turn out to be something that's going to keep him out.
So fundamental question, though. Can the NFL say, hey, you were still caught up in something, even if there is no charges pressed, you're suspended for X amount of games?
Theoretically, yes, under the personal conduct policy. But again,
he was arrested at the end of the day.
So was Stephon Diggs, and he played the entire year last year.
God, you're having a good show.
Yeah, I'm with Jason. The more this just kind of lingers out there, and not to always read into everything, and again, trying to be as sensitive as possible. If things were as serious as we initially thought when the list of charges came out, I don't think the Packers would have had Josh Jacobs show up to any of their offseason practices that they had and be that type of distraction for the team.
Yeah, it's a really unique case. It's interesting. We don't know a ton, which is what makes it so unique, and that's why I wanted to start there. So I guess let's operate like it's business as usual for now, and obviously things are subject to change.
That's the phrase Matt LaFleur literally used, so yes.
Things, of course, are subject to change, but let's operate under that case. It was an under 1,000-yard season, but a 13-touchdown season last year for Josh Jacobs. Obviously dealt with some nicks and bruises throughout the end of the season, but still a very productive season for Josh Jacobs. I think this goes back to what we were talking about, Gabe, with Jordan Love, is maybe we expect a little bit less of Josh Jacobs being so heavily featured, especially early on in the season in 2026?
Yeah, maybe. Because the issue with Josh Jacobs being not heavily featured, yeah, you're probably throwing the ball a little bit more, but you still want to run the ball 20 to 25 times in a game. And if you want to make Josh Jacobs last the entire season after he got nicked up last year, okay, maybe he gets 15 carries first handful of weeks. How are you divvying up those other 10? All right, maybe you give one to Jaden Reed. Maybe you come up with a creative play to Savion Williams. You giving 8 touches a game to someone who has been healthy for 6 plays in his NFL career?
Another good example. Yep, that's a third round.
You're referring to Yeet Cannon, Marshawn Lloyd? What does that mean, Yeet Cannon? That's his nickname. I don't know what it means.
Yeet. It's like it's exuberance.
Well, I know the WWE version.
You're familiar with Jey Uso.
I'm not familiar with him at all, actually.
You're not familiar with his work? Okay.
He's one of the actors in WWE.
Whoa.
He's one of the performers, yes.
That's better.
One of the superstars, I believe is the actual term. So Marshawn Lloyd, to Gabe's point, 6 snaps. He was a third-round pick 2 years ago. We just don't know who he is. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. He's had some bad luck. He's had some soft tissue injuries. It seems like those could be solved now. What are you hearing? What are you seeing? What are you expecting
Look, he made it through
Lloyd?
the offseason program. There's obviously encouraging signs. Everyone knows his potential, but no one knows his production because there's been none. I always go back to my Lutheran upbringing at St. Paul's, West Dallas, and Martin Luther. Faith is defined as belief in things unseen. He is the epitome of having faith in a player. You don't trust him. You don't believe in him because of what you've seen. It's because what you have yet to see that you think he can do. And, again, regardless of the legal entanglement that they obviously have with their number one running back, Josh Jacobs, I didn't like where they were at running back before that happened. Because, again, and Josh Jacobs was more than nicked up. He was banged up big time last season. And while it's also the reality that, and we gave Jair Alexander all kinds of grief, right? Saying that he wasn't going to play if he wasn't 100%. Well, Josh Jacobs played at 60% for half the season. And what do we talk about? We talk about how he wasn't very good last year and what a drop-off there was. Well, maybe there's a reason for that. So, again, their running back situation, Chris Brooks, if he was tuning into the program, would say, hey, I can handle more than what people think I can. Do you want Chris Brooks to take 27 carries like you did with Emmanuel Wilson last year against the Vikings? I'm not sure about that.
I might be the foremost Chris Brooks supporter.
He had 27 carries all of last season.
Josh DiMaggio to fight for that title, my friend.
No, we're in agreement on Chris Brooks. We've both been on the Chris Brooks train a long time. What he does in pass pro is really important. But do I want him carrying the ball 13 times a game? No.
No, he's really good at the role in which the Packers ask him to fill. And I look at Chris Brooks as someone where they go, oh, we know exactly what your role is. We're not looking for necessarily even growth out of that role. You're just good at this thing.
Do that.
And you're good enough to keep you around and be the third running backs. Yeah. Be the third running back. Do your thing. And we'll figure out what we do ahead of you on the depth chart. But to not even really bring in another option and have competition for Marshawn Lloyd was probably the most surprising thing to me this offseason.
Do you think it could still happen?
Maybe, but I don't, I'm going to say no. I don't think it would be competition. I think it would be the same way that we saw Malik Willis become the backup quarterback. I think we would get through camp, and then they go, yeah, this isn't really it, and either they make a trade or find somebody else that they think can do the job.
So they're going to give him every opportunity to prove them wrong, technically.
Look, they love.
Somebody's going to be proving something. I don't know who's being proven right, proven wrong, but somebody's going to be proving something.
That's true. That's right. Yeah,
they're going to have the opportunity to prove it.
They love Chris Brooks in his current role. They believe he can do a little bit more than what he's done, but they are clearly, whether they will say it explicitly or not, counting on a former third-round pick who has played one of a possible 36 NFL regular season and postseason games to be the guy that they drafted him to be. And if he is, this is much ado about nothing. And if he has more injury issues, then you're going to be trying to figure out what the heck you're going to do if something happens to Josh Jacobs.
It's Jordan Love's world, and we're all just living in it. But in order to live in Jordan Love's world, he needs to stay upright, and that's why I'm very excited for this next conversation. The state of the Packers' offensive line.
How much time do we have?
Giddy up! We talk about the offensive line coming up next. State of the Packers 2026 live from Summerfest on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
More football talk coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
At Associated Bank, we know it's not always fun thinking about saving. You know what is fun? Not thinking about it. That's why we call it automated savings. You save automatically. How much you want, how often you want, for whatever you want. And if you don't know how much to save, well, that's why we're here. We'll suggest an amount so you hit your target without ever thinking about it. See, saving can be fun, especially when it's automatic. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/you-got-this. Member FDIC.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation, and it definitely shouldn't feel like a game. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin believes in straightforward pricing, honest conversations, and helping homeowners find the right fit for their home. Because a fair final price matters more than some flashy discount. Pella never inflates pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. And when you buy direct through Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, one trusted team handles everything from start to finish. The same company that manufactures your windows and doors is also the one selling, installing, and servicing them with Pella certified installers every step of the way. That means confidence in the process, confidence in the product, and one team standing behind the work from beginning to end. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They treated me like family. They're actually people that you can depend on.
They made me feel seen. They really treated me like I was a part of their family, a part of their team.
They ask how you're doing, how you're feeling.
They're just so welcoming and so sweet and kind.
It's like family. Caring about another member of the family.
If you've been injured, it costs you nothing to see if Gruber Law Offices can help.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
We are going to grind out at bats. You have to throw quality pitches in order to get us out. And then once we get on the base paths, you have to worry about us. It's a different brand of baseball.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. A season of promise turns into a season of expectations.
Love zips it in there. It's caught for the touchdown.
I've seen enough with Jordan Love. Get the deal done and pay what it takes because he's that dude.
Love, throw, Watson. Oh, did he catch that?
I don't think it ever left. I don't think it ever. I mean, I know outside expectations are what they are, but they're really no concern to us.
What's next for the green and gold?
Is Love on 3rd and 1. Wants to go up top. Looks to the end zone. The pass is on the money.
If I had to pick a sneaky flyer to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl next year, I would go to Green Bay.
Love flips it to the end zone. Touchdown.
I don't think that there's a quarterback in the NFC that I would definitively take over Jordan Love.
Pressure. Back foot throw. End zone. It is caught for the touchdown.
This is State of the Packers.
I think Love is about to become special.
State of the Packers 2026 continues live from Summerfest. He is the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde, who you hear on Wilde and Tausch each and every weekday from 9 until noon on ESPN Wisconsin. He is Mr. Worldwide, Gabe Neitzel. You hear him on ESPN Radio literally all the time, it seems, but also Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, weekday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on ESPN Milwaukee. All right, buckle up. Here we go. Let's talk about this offensive line. I don't even know where to begin. Last year's experiment didn't work. Elton Jenkins, the center, didn't work. Aaron Banks was underwhelming despite making a lot of money in free agency last offseason.
And then making some more guaranteed money this offseason.
So from left to right, what we expect is the following. Jordan Morgan finally going to crack the starting lineup at the position he wants to at left tackle. Aaron Banks at left guard, Sean Ryan, who's back, re-signed this offseason at center. Right guard, we assume, will be the second-year guy, Anthony Belton, who filled in that role once Ryan moved over to center. And then, okay, we get a head nod. We'll talk about that in a moment.
We're rotating right guards again, baby.
Yeah, our favorite. Talk about bread and butter. And then right tackle, Zach Tom, who everybody feels good about him, but he's coming off of a surgery this offseason. So many question marks around across the board at offensive line. Jason, I just want to say that and give you the ball because you can go any direction you want. I think this is going to be the conversation that
Can
takes
I hand
us
it
the
right
longest.
off to Gabe?
Yeah, no, you got to make your own hole because I don't know if the offensive line is going to make a hole for you.
Hey-oh!
I'm telling you, this has been the best show you've had. I mean, again,
might have to
Mr.
leave soon.
Worldwide.
Leave on a high note.
Yeah,
Get stands of this thing.
So, first of all, I know Gabe will handle the discussion of the wildly popular rotating players because based on what we not only saw but more importantly heard from Matt LaFleur, the Jagger bomb, Jagger Burton, is thrust himself into the mix in some form or fashion. Now, will they rotate him with Anthony Belton? Will he somehow beat out Anthony Belton and Anthony Belton becomes your swing tackle? I don't know. But there's just – you started in a place that I think is where we all have to start on this conversation, which is last year failed. And you made wholesale changes. You paid a guard where you were bidding against yourself way more than I think anybody else was willing to pay Aaron Banks. You moved a multi-time Pro Bowl guard to center who, by his own admission, I can't use the S word that he used to describe his own performance to me when I talked to him early in the season, but it was. And he's going to go to Cleveland, and he's going to play guard, and he's going to make a Pro Bowl. He's going to be fine. And you don't get better by not having good players on your team. It also created all kinds of angst, and he was unhappy with his existing contract. All he wanted was guaranteed money that was already in his contract to be guaranteed that wasn't at the time. They obviously had plans on getting rid of him all along. So now, Jordan Morgan, your wish is my command. You are the left tackle. And Joe Thomas thought very highly of what he saw from him, but I think he's got a lot to prove. And I think Jordan knows that. Zach Tom is still not participating in anything and isn't sure. And he's a guy who's from the same cloth as Tausch and Bulaga that I don't want to just show up on Sundays and play. I don't feel like I can play effectively like that. Chad Clifton could do it. He doesn't think he can. And so he wants to even play in a preseason game potentially so he can get that work. If you're asking to play in a preseason game, I don't feel real good about where you're at in your recovery. And he doesn't know when. He wants to be right for the first day of camp. He's probably not going to be. So it is a jumble. For knowing the starting five, it is still somehow a jumble.
Well, maybe starting six, Gabe. Go ahead.
Who do you feel the best about?
Zach Tom coming off of a torn patellar tendon.
Okay.
Partially torn. He made sure I understood that it was
all right, let's do a 1 through 5 on the starters. So you feel best about Zach Tom. Who do you feel second best about?
I'm pausing for dramatic effect,
yeah.
But also because I'm not, that's a tough call for me.
Okay.
Right? I think it's Aaron Banks.
I think so, too.
Oh, really?
That's where I was going to go.
But again,
Jordan Morgan's my number 2. I really think that he is going to be – he held up at right tackle, and then unfortunately the one play he didn't, he got Malik Willis hurt in the Bears during the regular season.
So you believe the conversation around Jordan Morgan, well, you should be suspicious because we haven't seen him play it outside of that Minnesota game in a regular season game. And he wasn't particularly great, but also he was around a bunch of second linemen. But, I mean, he hasn't proven anything.
I think
as a first-round pick.
If it was truly a competition and they didn't have injuries and they're shuffling around the offensive line, and if he went head-to-head during camp last year, I think he beats out Sheed. I really do. But that's not the way it was, and they're rotating around. He's trying to all these different positions. Yeah. So I think him at left tackle, I feel pretty good about him, especially the way.
But again, you don't have evidence.
No, I don't. And you don't have evidence. I mean, I don't have. Do you have evidence to feel good about Aaron Banks?
I don't.
Yeah, that's the problem, right?
Right. We have evidence that Zach Tom, when healthy, is really good. Now, Zach Tom also 2 years ago tore his pec and never regained the strength. So he was playing literally with one arm tied behind his back for much of that season. He still played well.
Well, didn't he? And he finished, third in voting at right tackle?
Right. So, again.
So if there was third team All NFL, third team All Pro, he would have been that.
If you said to me, is Jordan Morgan more likely to be a stud or a dud at left tackle?
Yeah.
I would say more likely stud.
Yes.
I do believe that that's the case. I just can't prove it.
Yeah.
So it's a question mark of a ceiling and a medium floor for Jordan Morgan at left tackle?
Sure. Again, there's just no – unless I go back to his – and that's Bulaga's department. I'm not going back and watching film of Jordan Morgan at Arizona.
You've got corners covered.
I do, especially when they're only here for a year and playing 12 games. And prevent me from talking to Keyshawn Nixon after a game, which I really like.
It's a Nate Hobbs joke for those of you at home.
Yes. If you know, you know.
We're going to have some deep cuts over the 3 hours here, Strouf.
True. But I just think that's the challenge, is just not knowing for certain what Jordan – we all believe he's going – just like we all think that Matthew Golden's going to be good.
Yeah.
Right? He's a first-round pick.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You don't pick a guy in the first round, he's not going to do anything this year. First year, okay. Same with Jordan Morgan. Had the shoulder injury, missed a lot of time. But again, he's going into – Jordan Morgan is going into year 3. It is time for him. He's getting the opportunity, and it's time for him to play like a first-round left tackle.
Sean Ryan, real quick, Gabe, because this was something you put me onto the idea of last season during Green Bay Game Day. It was about midway through the season. You were like, his contract's up. If the price is right, I'd be open to bringing him back at center. It's ultimately what they do. Do you have confidence in him at center? A question for both of you.
I feel like he is going to continue to grow into that role. I think he stepped in when, again, he wasn't necessarily expected to play in that role, and I thought he did well. And because there's so much other instability, I think the price ended up being higher than I thought it would be. But I also think that's because his agent and Sean Ryan probably knew they had the Packers of, all right,
over a barrel.
You don't bring me back to play center. Who you putting in there? And the Packers didn't have a good answer, so they had to pay Sean Ryan. Now, that doesn't mean I think he's going to be back. I think he's going to continue to grow in that role. I think he's going to be a pleasant surprise by the end of the season, but much like everybody else on this offensive line who isn't named Zach Tom, there's not a lot of evidence to go on to actually make you feel good about where they're at.
I think he's going to be solid.
Okay, I'll take solid.
And that's not what Mike Flanagan was. That's not what Scott Wells was. That's not what Corey Linsley was. But
is Corey Linsley the last time they were more than solid at center?
Mm-hmm. And I think they were more solid than Josh Myers probably got credit for.
Tend to agree.
He wasn't great by any means. But, by the way, he signed for
another
pennies
contract
on the dollar.
Wasn't it a one-year deal for $2 million?
Right, and then
is that all it was?
But now they paid him.
They paid him. He got another contract.
It's the Jets.
Right.
But still.
I don't know how much we trust their talent evaluation, but fair enough. They might win 4 games this year. Good for them.
But that's somebody when you're dealing with all this instability and injuries. Josh Myers was somebody who always played.
Yeah.
Correct.
And having that stability was important when he was here.
So what's with the apprehension at right guard? Excuse me. I said Anthony Belton. You grimaced. You shook your head and said it might be a rotation. Is that
well,
where
it's
we
not
think,
our idea?
That's where we think Jager
blame
Burton's-
us.
Yeah, that's
no. Gabe loves it. What are you talking about? Gabe's the biggest advocate.
Put me in that bucket.
Yeah,
Gabe is the biggest advocate for rotating right guards.
For the dumbest idea in NFL history.
So that's going to be the Jagger bomb with Anthony Belton?
As I have said many times, Matt LaFleur easily could have said, yeah, hey, we really like what we've seen from Jagger so far. He's really been impressive. We're excited to have him get pads on and see what he does in training camp. That is not what he said. He said he is going to be in the mix for playing time.
Which makes me excited for it's so conflicting because I'm excited for Jagger. That's awesome that you hit maybe on a pick.
On another mid-round.
Have to wait and see once you get into pads because when you're kind of going through and just helmets and shorts,
right?
It's
and
different.
It should make you feel good that he was so excited that he couldn't help but say something useful.
And that does make me excited, especially because the offensive line. We haven't even gotten to who's behind those starting 5 in case there's an injury. Who's coming
segment.
in?
Darian Kennard. That's the end of the segment.
Yeah. So having that depth makes me excited. But it doesn't make me excited the way Matt LaFleur said it. He's in the mix for playing time. Because in a copycat league where guys are stealing plays, ideas, all over the place, how come nobody else in the NFL has decided it's a good idea to rotate offensive linemen in and out while healthy? Not where you have an injury, you got to put a new guy in. No, rotating guys.
Play with a club cast, so we have to take them out every couple of series.
Can I ask you a dumb question? I am a firm believer there's such thing as dumb questions. You guys have worked with me long enough to know I ask a lot of them. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do they just want competition in camp, even if it's not real? Like, I think back to last year, Rasheed Walker and Jordan Morgan, who we brought up, and maybe it would have been more real had Rasheed Walker been healthy, but he ultimately won the job, even though Jordan Morgan played it all 4 or 5 weeks of training camp in the preseason. Do they just want to force some competition? Because when you look across the Packers roster, there's really not any competition in terms of starting roles.
No, it's the NFL. If you have a good team, you know who your players are throughout the offseason. It's the crappy teams that have competition in training camp. Maybe there's one position.
One position.
Yeah, I mean, there's some general competition for back-end roster spots, but
not for starters.
No.
Not if
So you do not believe it's a we want competition. It's a he's earned it.
And I in the conversations that I had with people not named Jagger, what they really like about him is he's really smart. And I think they feel like he's picked things up really quickly that they, unlike many rookies, I mean, Elton Jenkins was like this too as a rookie, but he was a second-round pick.
Yep.
You expect second-round, like Josh Myers, you expect them to play right away. Fifth-round pick, he has definitely outkicked their expectation coverage.
Is this the position group that gives you the most nerves, Gabe Neitzel?
Yes.
I agree.
It does.
I agree.
We spend a lot of time, and we're going to spend time in the second half of the show talking about who else is going to pass rush with Micah Parsons out, who's going to play cornerback with all those. But this offensive line, as we saw in the second half of that Bears game, you're not giving up 25 points if your offensive line blocks a little bit and you're able to pick up a couple more first downs outside of the drive that you had that ended in the Matthew Golden touchdown.
Yeah.
If you're able to block just a little bit better, they have enough weapons where you're going to be able to do damage and you're not going to blow that lead. But if this offensive line ends up looking like what they did in the second half, it's going to be asking a lot of your defense, especially if Micah's going to miss as much as his brother Terrence is saying.
Jason, I want you to say what you just whispered one final time.
Yeah, he's having such a good show. I mean, he's unbelievably good. In fact, I'm going to go see Baby D. Maybe I might not even come back for the next segment.
Just like Gabe
might
go?
just skip a segment.
Well, speaking of Micah Parsons, speaking of the defensive line, that is where we will turn our attention to
Micah
coming
Parsons
next.
doesn't play the defensive line.
Yeah, not anymore.
He's an
I guess,
outside linebacker.
yeah.
We're a 3-4 now,
we're
kid.
a 3-4 now. We will talk.
But Jason, when you play a 3-4.
Please explain this to me, Matt.
We're going to flip the page to the defense. New coordinator in town. Some new guys that'll probably play some meaningful snaps in town. Pew, pew, pew. We talk defense coming up next. It's State of the Packers, ESPN Wisconsin, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Back with more on the Packers coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
Hey, Tom, I just really can't get my kids off their phones lately. What's your secret, man?
I told you last time, go to PrecisionSportsOnline.com and buy a hoop. And while you're there, include their court line painting. You'll thank me later. PrecisionSportsOnline.com. That's PrecisionSportsOnline.com.
Sports are changing. Faster, stronger, smarter. So should your beer. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. 2.6 carbs, 95 calories, crisp and refreshing, no extra baggage, built for people who go hard. Still drinking the same old light beer? You're stuck. Flight is changing the game. Level up. Flight by Yuengling, the next generation of light beer. Wisconsin, are you keeping up? DJ Yuengling & Son, Pottsville, PA. Enjoy responsibly.
What life events have you experienced over the past couple of years? Well, maybe one is coming up. The sale of a company, death, divorce, a health crisis, or helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Homer here. I've been on this journey since January and have already lost 27 pounds and on my way to at least 30. What I love most is how safe and easy this program has been. No complicated plans, just real results that fit into everyday life. If you've been looking for a weight loss program that really works, this is it. For a limited time, get $200 off with our summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Selling your home is more than putting a sign in the yard. It's about having the right team beside you. I'm Tony Wendorf with Tony Wendorf & Associates, powered by Keller Williams. We help relieve unnecessary stress with our team's expert listing process, strong negotiation skills, and fast, clear communication. Our white glove service experience is provided at every price point and every step of the way. Start your home journey today by searching online, Tony Wendorf. Tony Wendorf & Associates, a real estate team driven by faith, gratitude, and results.
ESPN Wisconsin's Gabe Neitzel here for Events by Design. If you're planning an annual meeting, leadership summit, product launch, or trade show, you already know the pressure is on. Events by Design takes those high-stake moments and turns them into immersive experiences that energize your audience and elevate your brand. They handle everything: designing, planning, production, ensuring your event is executed seamlessly. No stress, no scrambling, just a memorable experience that delivers. Get started today. Just search online. Events by Design. They design, you party.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year.
For over 50 years, Covenant House has been helping youth in crisis. To learn more, go to covenanthouse.org today.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. This is the State of the Packers with Alex, Gabe, and Jason on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
More running music for Jason Wilde. It's State of the Packers 2026 live from the Gruber Law Offices Sports Zone at Summerfest. A beautiful Saturday afternoon here on the Lakeshore. He is Jason Wilde, who's...
Because when I think of Jason Wilde, I think of running.
Yeah,
That's what I think of. Yeah, definitely.
You have enough running shoes.
I need to be thinking about GLP-1s. That's what I need to be thinking about.
That might be a conversation for another day. Gabe Neitzel's here.
Talk to Chewy. Now that you have his number, text Chewy.
I still am nervous every time I text that group that I'm sending it some random guy.
Well, now I've missed something. What happened? You don't have Mark Chamo's
I had an old number. Obviously, I covered Chewy as a player.
Yep.
And so I had a number for him that I had always thought was his. And then once I put it in a group text, the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy wildly popular show with familiar. Jen, Gabe, Chewy, and Josh. And they're like, what's this other number? Because it wasn't Chewy.
Did this person respond?
No. I mean, because nobody does that, right? Like, once upon a time you would, I think once upon a time you would respond and say, hey, you got the wrong number. But now everyone expects someone to be looking to get your sensitive information, so you just delete it and move on, right? Other than you, apparently.
No, I like messing with people that try to get my sensitive information.
So Jason, ever since that has happened,
your fortune has gone to Zimbabwe.
Yeah, that's right.
So despite us sharing with Jason the correct number for Mark
multiple times, I think.
Jason still gets a little gun shy anytime he has to text the show. Or I don't think he's texted Chewy directly. He's just a little nervous.
Let's go to the defense. First-year coordinator Jonathan Gannon, who allegedly doesn't have a scheme but technically does run a 3-4 base. Let's start with the interior defensive line because that's interesting aside from the edge rushers. You bring in Javon Hargrave, a veteran. Shout out to Brian Gutekunst for bringing in somebody over the age of 30.
33.
Chris McClellan is a draft pick out of Missouri. He's a defensive tackle, and obviously you have some other guys left over, right? Devontae Wyatt's back on that fifth-year option.
Carl Brooks.
Carl Brooks is still there.
Should we be looking out for a Devontae Wyatt extension as well, or are they just going to let him play out the fifth-year option?
I would think they would let him play out some of the fifth-year option. I mean, there's another guy that, if we're being completely fair and forthcoming and honest, has been injured each of the last 2 seasons, right?
Yeah.
And they are when I always would say this about Christian Watson, about the offense to you, and they play it when I come on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, they are a different offense when he is out there. They are a different defense when Devontae Wyatt is out there. It's just, I mean, that was for all the attention we paid to Tucker Kraft, rightfully so, and all the attention we paid to Micah Parsons, rightfully so. The 2 injuries that further killed him that we didn't talk about enough were Zach Tom and Devontae Wyatt.
Totally.
And then, obviously, Edgerrin Cooper in the playoff game. But, for guys that were lost for the rest of the season with a significant portion of the season left, losing Devontae Wyatt was underappreciated how problematic that was for them.
That's a great point.
If they had different options at defensive tackle, would they have given him the fifth-year option a couple of years ago? Or because there wasn't a lot of depth, they just decided, we kind of have to do this. Otherwise, we don't know what that position is going to look like.
I'm gonna take a page out of Goody's book. Goody told us that the fifth-year option is not based on what you have done; it's based on what we think you will do. That's why they gave it to Lucas Van Ness. So I assume they would have given it to Devontae Wyatt regardless. It was also less expensive than giving it to Quay Walker at a position where, and look, I am very curious. We'll get to linebackers coming up. I'm curious what Zaire Franklin ends up being. I think he will be great for me. I don't know what he'll be for their defense, but the guy came up and introduced himself to me during the minicamp.
Did he call you Mr. Wilde?
He did not. I told him my name's Jason. I don't like to I love it when guys will tell you, I'm so-and-so, and here's who I write for, and they don't care.
Right. Yeah.
They're not going to even remember your name, most likely. I still would tease Jair Alexander about that, who I was his guy. Oh, you're my guy. What's my name? He never knew it.
Really?
So, yeah.
Didn't know that.
Most guys
it's a great
do,
story.
but not everybody. So
you put his quote on T-shirts.
We did, yeah. And he
you
was a big Ashwaubenon supporter, too. Got a great picture of me with him wearing his Ashwaubenon T-shirt that he got at the local St. Vincent de Paul. Anyway, my point is that where they have added veteran players, they did not obviously keep Quay Walker, but they were trying to. Let's not lose sight of that. And I want to see what they decide to do with his other 2022 first-round pick and whether they try to keep him now, because I don't think he's going to get a deal before we've played 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games.
What about Chris McClellan, the day 2 pick out of Missouri? It seems like he's probably the rookie that has the opportunity to contribute the most
I would agree.
in his rookie season.
Other than Jagger?
I assumed he meant on defense.
Okay.
I meant overall, because he's going to be in the rotation now. Jagger could crack, and that guy.
That is the highlight of the day, right?
You got it. He figured it out. That guy. But I think McClellan, he's going to be in the rotation week 1. Now, granted, I hope they don't do the right guard rotation thing.
Jagger could be in the rotation too, buddy.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. But I think McClellan seems like he could make a day 1 impact.
Say that
you don't need to bail me out. That's truly my opinion. I believe he will have the best opportunity to crack, say a starting lineup week 1.
Okay, impact though. You also said the word impact in there.
I did say impact. Yes.
Look, I'm not going to. I watched him practice. He got some reps with the ones. So did Brandon Cisse at corner. I don't know what Chris McClellan's going to give him, right? And neither do you. And neither does Jonathan Gannon at this point. Because right now, if they have the guys that they want, yes, he would maybe get, 10, 12 snaps.
Well, do you think McClellan or like a Carl Brooks is more likely to get snaps?
When they start in a 3-4,
yeah,
it is Javon Hargrave.
Okay.
It will be Devontae Wyatt. I would think it would be Hargrave on the nose and Wyatt at one of the defensive ends. And the other guy's Carl Brooks.
Okay.
Carl Brooks is going to – if they are planning on Carl Brooks playing a hell of a lot of football for them.
Interesting.
And I would be curious to know, if we polled people as they went by, how many of them would even know who Carl Brooks is, Like, is Carl Brooks a Brewers relief pitcher or a Packers defensive tackle or like an end-of-the-bench Bucks guy that they got in the trade from the Heat?
Or is he playing the American Family Insurance Amphitheater tonight as a bassist?
Yeah, he's part of Post Malone.
Right, correct. Yes, exactly. Okay, interior D-line, we feel okay about, it seems. It's just kind of a meh.
They can't be worse than the run defense that they trotted out against the
Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, I tend to agree. But then
if
again,
they
we've
are,
said
then
that
they're
before.
really-
If it is,
we
then
said
it's
that
going to
about
be a long season.
We said that about Joe Barry's run defense when Jeff Hafley was hired, and Jeff Hafley's defense is who did that against Baltimore. So
that's true.
You never
That
know.
game. Yep.
Never know. All right, we'll pivot to edge rushers and the Micah Parsons conversation coming up next. This might be a long one. Buckle up. Will Micah Parsons play before the end of October? We'll find out together. State of the Packers.
Like his brother?
Yeah, right. Terrence will tell us. State of the Packers rolls on right after this. ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN Wisconsin app.
More football talk coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Progressive knows you've got plenty of things to worry about.
What time does the kids' practice end? How long has that check engine light been on? Are takeout containers microwave safe?
So the last thing you should have to worry about is what to do if something unexpected happens on the road. That's why if you're ever in a major accident, Progressive's accident response can detect it and send help. It's just one less thing to worry about.
How long does chicken last in the fridge?
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Limited availability in California. Driver is responsible for emergency and towing charges not covered by the policy.
Party at your place this summer? Fix things up inside and out with July 4th deals, now at Lowe's. Get up to 45% off select major appliances and save up to an additional 25% off when you bundle select major appliances. Plus, save $80 on the select Charbroil Performance Series gas grill, now $299. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 7/8. While supplies last, selection varies by location. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Some companies build projects. At Professional Construction, Inc., we build relationships.
That means showing up early, taking pride in the details, and having each other's backs, on and off the job site.
We're looking for skilled carpenters who really care about their craft and want to be part of a team.
Not just another paycheck, but a place where the people you work with actually matter.
If you work hard, take pride in what you build, and want to join a tight-knit crew, then we'd love to meet you.
Apply today at professionalconstructioninc.com.
Looking for your next unforgettable night out in Milwaukee? Step into Upper Bar, where the city lights meet the river's edge and every evening feels like an occasion. Perched above the Milwaukee River with sweeping downtown views, Upper Bar is your stylish escape to the heart of the city. Sip handcrafted cocktails, explore curated wines, and share flavorful bites made for good company. Whether you're meeting friends, starting your night, or just chasing the view, you'll find it all here. Upper Bar, elevated evenings right in the center of it all. Visit upperbarmke.com to learn more.
One of the most important concepts in sports is don't drop the ball. Are you dropping the ball with your estate plan? When was it last updated? Have you even done one at all? It's ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde for Walney Legal Group. There's a lot at stake for you and your family when it comes to wills, trusts, probate, and elder planning. At Walney Legal, that's all they do. Tailored documents. No confusing legal jargon. Just thoughtful guidance. Do the blocking and tackling to protect your family. Start a conversation today at walneylegal.com.
The cooler's packed, the sun is shining. The only thing left to do? Citrus back and relax with Carbless. Refreshing, ready to drink, and packed with bold citrus flavor, Carbless is the ultimate upgrade for every summer adventure, from dock days to bonfire nights. No mixing, no hassle, just crack it open and enjoy the moment. This summer, trade the stress for zest. Citrus back and relax with Carbless. Carbless, find your bliss at drinkcarbless.com.
Wilde Automotive Group is celebrating America's 250th birthday with as little as $250 down or $250 a month. Wilde makes it easy to drive the new or used vehicle to fit your lifestyle. Celebrate America's 250th with Wilde Automotive. $250 down or $250 a month. Available on over 1,500 vehicles at every Wilde dealership location.
Select models with approved credit, tax, title, license, registration, and $479 dealer fees extra. See dealer for details. Expires 7/5/26.
This is Aaron Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited, letting you know that Siding Unlimited installs Pella windows and doors. That's right, Siding Unlimited installs windows, and we do it really well, earning the prestigious Pella Platinum Premier National Certified Contractor of the Year award 5 times. New windows, our expert team will deliver on a smooth, hassle-free installation, making you feel proud of calling Siding Unlimited for your window project. What's the next step? Call 262-567-4513 or go to sidingunlimited.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Give me your biggest takeaway.
One. Oh, number one?
Yes.
With the bullet, it's not even close. Micah Parsons is the guy we thought he is.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to the State of the Packers on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Back to Alex, Gabe, and Jason.
All right, away we go. State of the Packers 2026 continues live from Summerfest. And we just had a fan who is here every year during State of the Packers. Every year he comes up to us. He's always very excited to see Jason Wilde.
Unlike any other.
And right before we put our headsets back on, he said, "What's the deal with Micah Parsons?" And then he walked away. I don't know if that's telling.
He's going to listen to the podcast later. He's got places to go. He's on the grounds. He's a mover and shaker.
Mover and shaker indeed. Let's start with Micah Parsons. We'll talk about the edge rusher position as a whole. The outside linebackers they are now in this 3-4 base.
Except when they go to their sub package. Then they're defensive.
Then they're like defensive ends.
As I've been told.
Yes. Who told you about that?
Matt LaFleur.
Oh, yeah. That rings a bell.
Matt, you got 2 down linemen. Jason. No, when we go sub, no.
Is that the most demeaning explanation that ever happened to you?
But again, what doesn't get told when we reference that is that after that he called me and apologized.
Oh, really? He was like, I didn't mean to talk down to you?
I'm like, he's like, and I said, I know what that meant, but you were just evading the question because it was a bad alignment for the play, and it resulted in like an 11-yard run. Yeah, I know. Sorry I did that to you. All right, thanks for the call.
Fascinating. All right, Micah Parsons' status. His brother's tweeting up a storm.
Indeed he is.
We know he's going to start on the PUP list, which puts him out at least the first 4 weeks. But it
first
seems
4
like,
games.
Yes, correct.
But it does not mean, and I think this is important, even though I don't think he's going to start practicing after 2 games.
Yeah, they changed that rule.
But Gabe Neitzel, there was a day where I was on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy where I basically didn't know anything.
Seems to be the case today.
Which is, no, he's just been great today. But like there were actually pieces of information I did not know, which I pride myself on that not happening frequently. But it just seemed to happen like 3 instances, bang, 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 on that appearance.
Had a snowball effect.
It was not
going
pretty. And then I texted the wrong number for Chewy. But the fact that you can start practicing after the second game, that's not going to affect him. He has been very clear. They gave him a 9-month no football calendar, which means surgery was on December 29th. The first time he would do football work based on that would be September 30th, which would be after the 3rd game.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not he actually does much and how soon he comes back, I have to defer to Terrence Parsons.
Well, they eased him in last year when he was dealing with I'm using air quotes here, the back injury. Well, obviously, it was a new system.
Yeah, I think they eased him in because he didn't go through any training camp. I think that was the reason why he got eased in. But I mean,
it's a good point.
Yeah, but
they're
they'll
going to
ease
take
him
the same
in.
approach.
They'll ease him in again. And while Terrence is out there on Twitter, the one point that he keeps making is Micah's not going to be back till he's 100%. Mm-hmm. And even though Terrence says, it could be week 7 or 8. Yeah, that could be it. Could be earlier than that, too. Nobody knows when Micah's going to be 100% until we get closer to that date of, as Jason mentioned, September 30th. Yeah, we don't know how he's going to feel when he first starts doing football things. And again, now when he starts doing football things, how does he feel? A lot of the recovery time, or a lot of the recovery process is now you do something. How do you feel? Not while you're doing it, not immediately after. How do you feel the next day?
Rashawn Gary's out. He goes to Dallas.
Even lower snap count guy in Green Bay now.
Yes, correct. So that means Lucas Van Ness is going to get a whole lot of opportunity, especially early on in the season, without Micah Parsons available to the Green Bay Packers defense.
How do we feel about the way Micah's talked about Lucas. Does that
I
make
love
us
it.
feel? Does that make us feel better about Lucas, or is Micah just being a good teammate?
I think everybody needs a friend like Micah Parsons. Now, the telling part is I just referenced Rashawn Gary. We never heard him talk about Rashawn Gary like that.
No.
And
I think there's a reason.
I agree, but I think he's done it several times now with Lucas Van Ness, where he's got a great motor, he never gives up on plays, yada yada yada, all the things that Micah Parsons loves.
Seems opposite of somebody else.
Correct. So it's good, but I think it's probably more so the latter, just being a good teammate. Then we should go, oh my goodness, Lucas Van Ness for Defensive Player of the Year. I don't know how much stock we should put into it.
I mean, look,
big opportunity for him.
He went a bridge too far when he predicted that he and Lucas would be competing to be the best player on their defense with terms of their pass.
You think?
That's where I went from, Micah's give us an honest evaluation to, okay, Micah's just being a really good teammate right now.
Right. Talking up his guy, whose job he took.
Correct. Well, sort of.
No, I mean, last year he took it.
Because Lucas was going to be the starter opposite of Rashawn
Gary. Yeah, fair enough. He moved him down the depth chart, nonetheless.
Definitely did.
Anyway. So where are we at in terms of, like, LVN confidence? Are we buying the LVN stock? It seemed like he had a very good mini-camp, mandatory mini-camp OTAs. Jason, you were there for some of them. Seemed like he had some big plays.
I was there for all the ones that we were allowed to attend.
No shoulder pads and all. But.
Correct. Shorts, T-shirts, and helmets.
Going back to the offensive line conversation, when I saw the tweets of, Lucas Van Ness just recorded a sack. Was that a good play by Lucas? Is the offensive line just not good? I don't know what it means.
Against Jordan Morgan. Look, Lucas Van Ness is in no way to the point of Marshawn Lloyd by any means.
Sure.
But we don't know how good he is because he played 2 years ago with a broken thumb the entire season. And they had to line him up on one side all the time. He had Rashawn Gary on the opposite side, which, as we know, is a low snap count guy. And then last year, that foot injury, he missed 7 total games. Like, I don't know what can he do in a 17-game season. Like, he injured his foot sacking Joe Flacco the second time they faced him when he was playing for the Bengals, not when he was playing for the Browns. But, again, there's moments where you think this guy could be good. If he was drafted in the 4th round instead of the 13th overall pick, I think we would view him differently. The expectation game matters. But now, like we talked about Jordan Love earlier in the show, like we're talking about Marshawn Lloyd, like we're going to talk about other people, like this is a really big year for Lucas Van Ness. And I enjoyed my interaction with him at minicamp because I was like, I guess congratulations on getting the 5th-year option. It's like, yeah, we like you. We'd like to keep you around. But we don't like you enough to sign you to an extension instead. And he agreed. Like, it's a weird kind of limbo that he's in. But great opportunity.
Guaranteed's nice to have.
Yeah, it's almost what you get from the ESPN National. But what's good is that this is his big opportunity to prove, hey, I deserve big boy money. And then that 5th-year option is folded into a long-term extension. I don't know what he's going to do this year. And what I really don't know is what is he going to do when he doesn't have Micah Parsons on the opposite side, because the last time we saw a former first-round pick without Micah Parsons in Rashawn Gary, he didn't do anything.
No, he did not. Well, you say opposite side. Who's going to be opposite of LVN to start week 1?
Brenton Cox.
Okay. We'll see some Barron Sorrell, I imagine.
Yep.
Really? So Cox ahead of Sorrell and
Colin Oliver?
Colin Oliver didn't practice during any of the practices we saw.
Hey, and that happened
all
of last year,
last year, and then I think he played in the playoff game a little bit. But, like, again, there's a lot of people that are excited about Barron Sorrell. Not as excited as his dad, who always would parachute into our YouTube chat.
He hasn't done that in a while, though.
I know. I miss him.
I
actually said that to Barron, too. I was like, tell your dad we need him. We need him to jazz up our YouTube comments. But, no, I think it's really 4 guys, right? And you wanted competition in camp.
Yep.
There's a spot there's competition.
That's true.
Right?
So you're not saying a 5th guy? No DDS?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, opposite of
LVN.
Okay,
yeah.
so we were not including LVN.
The dentist denied Dennis Sutton their 4th-round pick.
My favorite thing about that is I told you on draft night that was his nickname. I may have just made that up.
I think you did, and then it turned out to be true.
Okay, great.
So I think you made it
I
up,
never verified that.
and it turned out there were people that had come up with it besides.
I've heard you say it so many times on Wilde and Tausch, and every time I haven't been able to.
No, he told us that was his nickname.
Okay, great. I'm in the clear.
So it's not your. It's one. You're in the clear that you didn't give him a nickname that didn't exist. On the flip side, you're not nearly as creative as you thought you were.
No, I didn't
because someone
think
else had come up with it.
Well, it's a pretty simple nickname.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised had he not heard it
I don't know.
before.
Tausch didn't get it at first.
Well,
Tausch had also never heard of the two-fisted slopper, so I don't know if we can really trust Tausch and his opinions right now, all right?
He's the best. Our show is so popular, it's all because of him.
So I guess, yeah, is that maybe where our eyes should go in camp and the preseason
Yes.
of, like,
so
obviously there's going to be snaps that need to be fulfilled.
Right. And if, let's say, and look, we kind of glossed over this, making jokes about Terrence Parsons on Twitter and whatever else, but Micah Parsons was very clear. Like, he said, look, I'm going to be back when I'm 100%. And when he was asked specifically about getting back for the first Bears game and the Cowboys game, he said, hey, we're going to play the Bears again, right? And, yeah, maybe we're not going to play the Cowboys again. But I don't – and then he went into this whole thing about not coming back too early. So for those that assumed that he was going to miss the first 4 games and be back for those 2, including the schedule makers, I would say – that my hope, if I'm a Packers fan, is that he is there as a situational pass rusher for those 2 games, and then is playing his full complement after that. That would be a win in my opinion.
And I am also of the belief that he should not come back until he's 100%. I'm okay with him not. When you're coming back from an injury like that, and it's a tough injury, we've seen it go the other way for guys like David Bakhtiari.
Right.
Having confidence in that knee is such an important part of coming back. And if he doesn't have confidence in it, he's not going to be the Micah Parsons that we want him to be. Mm-hmm. And for him to be 100%, I get it. I know everybody wishes he would do the Adrian Peterson thing and have this freaky recovery and come back and break the sack record the way that Adrian Peterson ran for 2,000 yards after he injured his knee and became an MVP the year after he injured his knee. But if the Packers want to go where they want to go, him starting out at 100% is going to be what's best for the team.
No, and no one will dispute that. But again, fan is short for fanatic.
Yes.
And I don't blame anyone for wanting a superstar player back immediately. I get it. But, and he made the point of saying there aren't any good outcomes for guys that come back prematurely. And actually, if you go back and look at Adrian Peterson, that was great what he did that year, and then he had all kinds of issues after that.
Because he came back too soon. And
right.
That's the prologue that just never gets mentioned. That part never gets mentioned with the Adrian Peterson
or Robert Griffin, who they developed an entire advertising campaign around for, like Adidas, from coming back from his injury. And do you think that added any more pressure to him coming back prematurely?
Yeah, just a touch.
He was out of the league.
Yeah.
So look, whatever they plan on doing for however long they have to do it, it's LVN, and then may the best man win among Barron Sorrell, Brenton Cox, Colin Oliver, and Dennis Sutton. And whoever that ends up being, those guys are all going to get some opportunities, and LVN's not going to play every snap either.
Right.
So, and it's really important that those guys, for however long Micah Parsons is gone, remember they were preparing last season to not have Micah Parsons on their team, and all these guys other than Sutton were on the roster last year.
It's going to sound like I'm describing the Packers wide receiving core in 2024, but they've got a lot of bodies. Let's just hope one of them pops.
We don't have a number 1 pass rusher.
Yeah, right. Especially without Micah Parsons. So we will see how that rolls. We will look at the linebackers coming up next. The Packers' leading tackler from 2025 is now a Las Vegas Raider. We take a look at the Green Bay Packers linebackers coming up next. It's State of the Packers on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Back with more on the Packers coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Craig Karmzin. When I think about the most important moments of my life, being born, having a bar mitzvah, having a kid, none of them compare to getting my first basketball hoop. And I've done it multiple times with Precision Sports. They are the experts. They know ball, and they are the ones who can do it. So if you're going to make that life-changing, memorable decision, you're going to put up that hoop, you're going to put up that court, you're going to get the lines done, however you want to do it in the right way with the best. The way I did it, PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote. That's Precision Sports Online, and your jumper is going to be as good as mine in no time.
When your team needs custom gear, don't wing it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and More is your local partner for high-quality apparel with hands-on design help and services that actually feel, well, helpful. For your business, teams, or events, Big Frog makes it easy. Visit bigfrog.com/Mequon today.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor. If it's a celebrate or tailgate, when you're gonna recreate upstate. If it's a holiday, birthday, any date, you can save at Discount Liquor.
It's the world's largest music festival, and you'll be there compliments of Discount Liquor. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. There is no other party like Summerfest. Buy any one 15-pack of 16-ounce aluminum bottles of Miller Lite, Coors Light, or Coors Banquet, or any one 12-pack of Happy Thursday Spiked Refresher, and receive one free Summerfest ticket. Visit us at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and in Barstow and Maine in downtown Waukesha.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
See us for your free Summerfest ticket, and check out our specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor. Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Are you starting college, moving to a new apartment, or just looking to create a new vibe in your college living? Make IKEA your first stop for everything you need to create a college space that's all you. Whether you're looking to add color with cozy bedding, organize your dorm with smart storage solutions, or find that perfect sleeper sofa for those weekend visits, IKEA has your college life covered. And verified college students get 15% off when they sign up for IKEA Family. It's free and packed with rewards. So go grab your roommate and head to IKEA Oak Creek or shop online at IKEA.us or the IKEA app.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. When it comes to a home mortgage, we understand you want a simple, stress-free process, great service, and a loan you can feel good about. And for 90 years, that's exactly how we've been doing things at Great Midwest Bank. So if you're thinking about buying, building, renovating, or refinancing, get started at GreatMidwestBank.com to find a knowledgeable loan officer and get the peace of mind you deserve. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Heading to Milwaukee's east side? Make Veer North your first stop. Hey, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Alex Strouf. Here to tell you at Veer North you can catch the big game, hop on a shuttle to the stadium, or hang out for live music all summer long. Elevated food, craft drinks, and a packed event lineup. Veer North knows how to keep the energy going as the weather starts to warm up. Close to Fiserv Forum, Summerfest at UWM. It's the perfect place to pregame, postgame, or just stay for the whole thing. Veer North, right where Milwaukee comes together.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. You're listening to the State of the Packers on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Back to Alex, Gabe, and Jason.
State of the Packers 2026 continues live from the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone at Summerfest. He is the three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year. And I got to say, he's Mr. Popular in this city, man. Jason Wilde's here. You only make a few trips down here a year,
So Todd Blasey is one of my oldest friends. His younger brother was my college roommate. We were in the same class at Martin Luther, so he's the guy.
Is he in the Martin Luther Hall of Fame?
He is. I believe so.
You both are.
He definitely deserves it. I don't know if I did. But nevertheless, he's kind of what – I don't have an older brother. He's kind of the older brother I never had. So it was fun to have somebody stop by and remind me of how lucky I am.
That was way more sentimental than I was intending it to be.
So I am.
Yeah, that's you.
And by the way, speaking of how lucky I am.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how many years this has been, and we will get into the linebackers here. You can maybe push them into the 2 o'clock
Probably,
hour.
yeah.
But, I'm just so thrilled. And I was putting together my little video thing on the drive down, Paul. I wasn't driving as I did it. But a look back. This is a really special show to me because this is what started it all for me. I was on Homer every night, and I was on the D list, but I didn't do any shows. And I ended up being hired by Good Karma full-time to be a radio host and a writer when we launched the website. But, we didn't have Green and Gold Today. This was the precursor to Green and Gold Today. And Bill Johnson and I, who ended up obviously together on that show.
Not even using its original name.
Right, Lambeau Live for about an hour and a half until the cease and desist letter.
I was going to say, letter in the mail?
Came pretty quick.
But this really was, this is, and so then we went for years without having it, and you two bringing it back. I think the first year you guys were going to do it without me, which you're.
I think we did do it without you.
Yeah, I don't think I was pleased.
No, you were not.
It's great.
Talk about a letter in the mail.
But what's great about that is Jason let us know he was not pleased.
Well, I was very clear about that. I believe that. It's okay.
I believe this
now
is
back to your regular program.
If Jason's not pleased about something, he'll let you know.
I believe this is
which is not very often.
No,
to be fair.
No.
I'm displeased with a lot, but that doesn't count.
That's something completely different.
I think there's a lot of people that feel that way.
I think Gabe's only yelled at me one time ever. It's when I interrupted him to read a sign at Green Bay game day. There was a sign out in the parking lot that I found rather amusing, and I interrupted a great point.
Just the dog from Up, squirrel. That's what,
he was making.
I have one of those. His name is Mark Tauscher.
Got another one right here, buddy. But I believe this is year 5. It's back. Year 4, the 3 of us. And it is something I look forward to every year.
Now I'm irritated again.
Well, let's do this. Let's take a break. When we come back,
Take a breather.
We will talk Zaire Franklin, Edrin Cooper, and the state of the linebackers. That is next. It's State of the Packers 2026. 1 hour to go, live from Summerfest on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
More football talk coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
At Associated Bank, we thought about speaking like other banks with hoity-toity names like Total Privilege Pay or something. But we don't speak bankish, we speak your language. When we say 2-day early pay, we mean you get paid 2 days early. $50 overdraft grace zone? That's a grace zone of up to $50 if overdrafts happen. And maintenance fee free account? Well, that speaks for itself. At Associated Bank, we get you. That's why we've got you. Learn more at associatedbank.com/YouGotThis. Member FDIC.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation, and it definitely shouldn't feel like a game. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin believes in straightforward pricing, honest conversations, and helping homeowners find the right fit for their home. Because a fair final price matters more than some flashy discount. Pella never inflates pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. And when you buy direct through Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, one trusted team handles everything from start to finish. The same company that manufactures your windows and doors is also the one selling, installing, and servicing them with Pella certified installers every step of the way. That means confidence in the process, confidence in the product, and one team standing behind the work from beginning to end. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
Whether it's breaking Packers news, breaking Bucks news, or breaking Brewers news, we are Milwaukee's place for the biggest sports stories right when they happen on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. A season of promise turns into a season of expectations.
Love zips it in there. It's caught for the touchdown.
I've seen enough with Jordan Love. Get the deal done and pay what it takes because he's that dude.
Love, throw, Watson. Oh, did he catch that?
I don't think it ever left. I don't think it ever. I mean, I know outside expectations are what they are, but they're really no concern to us.
What's next for the green and gold?
Is Love on 3rd and 1. Wants to go up top. Looks to the end zone. The pass is on the money.
If I had to pick a sneaky flyer to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl next year, I would go to Green Bay.
Love flips it to the end zone. Touchdown.
I don't think that there's a quarterback in the NFC that I would definitively take over Jordan Love.
Pressure. Back foot throw. End zone. It is caught for the touchdown.
This is State of the Packers.
I think Love is about to become special.
State of the Packers 2026 rolls on live from Summerfest just outside of the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. I'm Alex Strouf alongside the 3-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year, Jason Wilde. I think that's low for the quality of work he does. And the best in the business, Mr. Worldwide, Gabe Neitzel. Does that make you uncomfortable now?
No, but I probably, if I rejoined that group and got marshaled some votes from you guys and got you guys to pay $50 a year to vote for me, yeah, I could probably win another
If
one.
you pay it on my behalf, I'll definitely vote for you.
I'd pay. I'll pay yours. I'll pay $100 to vote for Jason.
Well, then you got to vote for Gabe, too, so he wins something.
Oh, I think he's
he's
deserving. Right. All right, let's get back to it now.
When's the first day of training camp?
July 29th.
July 29th.
Okay.
A month from Monday.
Okay, so I was about to say, we're getting close to a month away from
Speaking
this
of
all being real.
this is your fault because you know I have a squirrel brain. Typically, we do the show on the last weekend of Summerfest, but this year it lined up with the 4th of July. I assumed everybody was busy, so we did this weekend. You typically, when we do the show, have just started your 20 most important Packers series. When does that begin at channel3000.com?
Well, if the first day of camp is the 29th, I guess I have to start it around the 8th.
Okay, so a little bit later this year, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, camp starts late. Like, there's been other years where it started like July 21st.
Sure.
And that's why we're into it already.
So that is your literal countdown to training camp.
Yeah, it's that, and then I do also this program in a written form, and probably just as poorly edited as this show is. Written form, position by position, yeah.
I feel like that was a shot at me somehow.
No, not at all. It's the look. I'm not going to come down here in this beautiful view. All these great fans have come by and start casting aspersions about your clock management. Like, hello, pot, this is kettle. You're black. So, no, I'm not going to do that.
Channel3000.com where you can get all of Jason's.
Why Mike McCarthy can't go into TV, man? Can you imagine him calling out another coach for clock management?
Exactly.
Channel3000.com, Jason's written work, as well as the Extra Points newsletter, which I'm a subscriber to. It'll be coming back soon, I assume.
Yeah, I haven't sent one out in about a week.
I've noticed.
But we had some unsubscribers. Like, they don't want it during the off season or something, so I'm sorry that you haven't been getting. I'll just email you directly from my personal account.
That'd be great.
Any links that you want to read.
Personalized newsletter for me. All right, let's get to the state of the linebacker. The Packers' leading tackler last year, obviously, Quay Walker, the fifth-year option, not picked up. He walks. He goes to the Raiders, signs a pretty big contract over there. The Packers, way back in the offseason, trade for Zaire Franklin, the former All-Pro from Indianapolis. They send Colby Wooden, the defensive tackle, in exchange for Zaire Franklin services. And obviously, Edgerrin Cooper is entering year 3. It's a guy everybody was super excited for last year. Didn't seem to totally click all season for him, though. He had a fine season.
Would you call it a step back last year? Or just not a step forward? And I know your favorite thing is not all growth is linear, so it doesn't mean that suddenly Edgerrin Cooper is not a good player. But was it a step back or just kind of a plateau?
Not only is Gabe having one of the greatest shows in the history of ESPN Wisconsin, but even there, like the setup there, and even the reference into how I love to say growth is not linear, it's a great question. And we talked to Edgerrin Cooper for quite a while at the end of the minicamp, and what I loved about him was that he took ownership, that he did not make the jump. He probably would feel the way I do about your question, which is it's kind of both, right? Like if you didn't take a step forward, then it's kind of like taking a step back because what he did last year. I mean, we all know our good friend Uncle Homer. So, I mean, how many times has Homer said, this guy won Defensive Player of the Week, not Rookie Defensive Player of the Week. He won it twice.
I've heard it once or
right.
twice.
And then,
yeah.
but along with those splash plays, you didn't see those in year 2 very frequently until, of course, the Bears game. And then he left that in that playoff game, and they missed him dearly. So I would say he did not take – I'm sure he grew and advanced, but he certainly did not have the impact that everyone, including Edgerrin Cooper, was expecting.
Zaire Franklin, what are the expectations for a guy that had kind of a down year last year but came off the All-Pro year the year prior? Indianapolis was willing to trade him for an up-and-coming defensive tackle. That whole thing is kind of confusing to me, but he's going to fill the hole left by Quay Walker.
Yeah, he is. They are the duo that will be on the field as off-the-ball linebackers, and they are counting on him to play at the level he played at in 2024. And whether or not he does will be a huge component to how good Jonathan Gannon's defense is.
I find it interesting with Zaire because Hargrave was like this as well. 2 veterans that they're adding over 30, both coming at the recommendation of Jonathan Gannon. So he's the one who goes out there, makes the recommendation, and both were, by the way, willing to sprint here for Gannon, which makes me excited for Gannon that players feel that way about him and go, yes, this is a guy I want to play for.
Pew, pew.
So how much do we think that Goody actually changed, and how much of it, and we've seen this with special teams coordinators, we've seen it with defensive coordinators before, when they first get to Green Bay, it's almost like Goody asks, hey, what do you need? What do you need to help you make this transition and make your unit good? Those guys make suggestions, and then Goody's been pretty good about going and getting those guys. And the biggest example I would say for the previous defensive coordinator is he sat there in his opening press conference, because it actually happened before free agency, and he talked about a safety and basically was describing Xavier McKinney, and then the Packers went out and signed Xavier McKinney in free agency. So how much do we think that the addition of the veterans is Goody actually changing his opinion, and how much of it is he's following kind of something he's done before in listening to new coaches?
Yeah, first of all, like the Xavier McKinney piece, it is still mind-boggling that he got out of the Giants building.
That's a great point.
Like how that happened and how Joe Shane got an extension. I understand Harbaugh's really running the show there, but that should have been a fireable offense. Not in the same offseason that you let the best running back in football leave too, by the way.
In which your owner said, if he walks out of the building, I'm going to be pretty sick about it.
Right. So I don't know if Goody people change for 2 reasons. Either one, they just look in the mirror and say, I can't be this person anymore. Or 2, they are given a violent shove into changing because of circumstances. And when you let Quay Walker walk, which they tried to re-sign him. Quay Walker clearly wanted nothing to do with this, right? He had an offer on the table in the fall, set it on the record, which never happens. I was great to be able to say, yeah, Quay Walker told me literally that he had an offer on the table and he hadn't signed it. And then he gets to Las Vegas and says that he was misused, which again, I heard Devontae Campbell say that too. He was misused in other places. Then the Packers used him correctly for 1 year, and then when he didn't have a good year the next year, suddenly they weren't using him rightly again.
Chewy had pointed out, that was something that Chewy had noticed as well. He just said, I don't think this guy's a middle linebacker. I think the Packers are playing him out of position.
Really?
So, yeah. So when I heard him say that, it made sense to me, maybe because I've heard Chewy say it so much, that, hey, I'm more of a sideline to sideline, don't have to be the guy in the middle. I can be
Quay Walker
being the athletic guy.
Devontae Campbell when he's like leaving the field with his team.
Oh, yeah. No, the Devontae Campbell
we weren't
thing.
talking about, yeah.
Right. I was talking about Quay.
And I would agree with that to a degree, but at the same time, like I think there were opportunities for him to make more plays.
Sure.
Right? And he didn't make them.
Yep.
So yeah, could you have been used in a way that was more appropriate for your skill set? Sure. I don't have a problem with that, and especially if Chewy saw it the same way, that means a lot coming from him. That said, they need these 2 guys to make some plays. They don't have to be You know, the second coming of Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman. Remember those 49ers defenses? But they need them to be difference makers. They don't have to tilt the field, but they have to make it lean just a little bit in their direction.
I would almost make the argument one of them has to kind of tilt the field, especially early on in the season with no Micah Parsons. Like Edrin Cooper needs to be Defensive Player of the Week good.
Well,
he needs to be that guy consistently.
Should we have put Edrin Cooper into the group of edge rushers that could be
They
good?
did line him up there during the minicamp. I did see that multiple times.
Very intriguing to me.
It seems like they want to try to use him as a weapon that they can move around the field, or at least are toying with that idea.
Well, what we've seen through 2 years is that's probably a guy you should treat as a weapon. He is a guy you should treat as one of the anchors of your defense because he has that potential for sure, and hopefully in year 3 he can really grow into it and blossom.
And if you have someone like that who's going to be trying to make all these plays, I think you need to have somebody solid next to him. And that's what I look at Zaire Franklin being. It was a down year for him last year, and I'm not a connoisseur of inside linebacker play, but Pro Football Focus still had a really good tackling grade for them. So this is still a dude that, okay, maybe he didn't make as many big plays and wasn't all pro last year, but he's still somebody who is a sure tackler. And that's
And they could use a guy like that.
Yes, especially if you're going to try to let Edrin Cooper loose a little bit more to try to make more plays.
Hopefully him and Carrington Valentine can spend some time together. By the way, also we didn't mention the name Isaiah McDuffie, who the Packers like him a lot.
He's a good backup.
Yeah, but where's it? Yeah.
Well, if you're moving around Edrin Cooper, I'm saying, then that's obviously who fills in, right?
Theoretically,
so if you're lining up Cooper outside, then you still have Franklin and McDuffie in the middle. I think you feel okay about that.
Isn't it more troubling that we haven't said the name Tyron Hopper?
Yes.
Boy, if you just stop and think about Tucker Kraft and all the things he's accomplished, perhaps the biggest is that he's a really good player as a third-round pick by the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. It's a curse under Brian Gutekunst.
I thought I saw Jay Sternberger here.
Oh, really?
No. But it could have happened.
Now, that's a good pop. That's a good pop. Really? All right, we will take a look at the final defensive group, the defensive backs, coming up next. And then, of course, we will have to mix in some kicker talk, as well as look at the state of the union, effectively. The Packers overall ahead of the 2026 season. All still ahead. We are live at Summerfest. This is our annual State of the Packers show on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Back with more on the Packers coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geist today. For 70 years, Geist has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geistdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geist.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
When you're getting married, the rings matter. There's something you wear for a lifetime. That's why my fiance and I went to Paul's Jewelers. Paul's Jewelers specializes in custom jewelry for life's biggest moments. Lab-grown or natural diamonds, great pricing, and a lifetime warranty, so your jewelry can be refurbished, repaired, or refitted anytime down the road. Their team made the entire process easy and stress-free. I can't wait to show off my wedding band after our big day. Create your masterpiece today by visiting Paul's Jewelers in West Allis.
It's Mike with Infinity Exteriors. I've seen it all, Wisconsin. Sketchy sales gimmicks for low-quality windows, siding that costs more than a new home, fly-by-night roofers. 60,000 happy customers made a better choice. Infinity Exteriors roofing, siding, and windows all come with our lifetime workmanship warranty, no overcharges, and transparent pricing. At Infinity Exteriors, we're on a mission to save our communities from unscrupulous contractors. Visit infinityexteriors.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Gabe Neitzel here for Events by Design. You want people to actually show up for your community event, charity gala, or nonprofit fundraiser while making a memorable impression on them. Events by Design turns those moments into meaningful experiences that engage your audience and bring your mission to life. They manage everything: designing, planning, production. No stress, no loose ends. Just an experience your guests remember, exponentially benefiting your cause. Get started today. Just search online. Events by Design. They design, you party.
Hey, better. Swing into Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee for the $300,000 Big League Series. Just play with your rewards card over 3 months to earn entries. Here's the lineup. Leading off April, on deck May, in the hole June. All monthly entries you earn will roll into drawings on Friday, June 26th, where you could win cash, free play, or one of 3 new Toyota vehicles. It's the $300,000 Big League Series, only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
Take me out to the ball game, roll out the barrel, and get up, get out of here, gone. There's nothing like Milwaukee baseball. And Discount Liquor is here to help you turn your tailgate or game viewing experience into a grand slam. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor, where since 1960, we've been your one-stop shop for everything alcohol-related. This baseball season, make plans to stop by Discount Liquor, because when the division rivals from Chicago visit, the more booze, the better. With a selection of over 15,000 varieties of beer, wine, liquor, and mixers, all at the lowest prices in town, Discount Liquor has got you covered. We are your one-stop shop this baseball season. Discount Liquor, 2 locations. In Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma, and in downtown Waukesha on Barstow in Maine.
Discount Liquor.
Hey, it's Rich Eisen. Tune into the Rich Eisen Show weekdays from 12 to 2 right here on 94.5 ESPN.
You're listening to ESPN Milwaukee on 94.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app. This is the State of the Packers with Alex, Gabe, and Jason on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
It seems like an old man phrase.
I got bad news for you, pal.
You're not that old.
He's not young. Just because he started at this company when he was 8, everybody thinks he's young.
We're getting up there, pal.
You don't look a day over 41, Gaber.
That's troublesome.
Yeah, I know. All right, let's talk defensive backs. We really
the GRB raise.
Shout out. Yeah, shout out. Greg Reinhardt and the team at GRB. Let's break this into 2 parts. Let's start with the safeties. We like them.
They're great.
Xavier McKinney and Evan Williams, really good.
And so is Javon Bullard.
But kind of technically a slot corner, but obviously plays a little bit of both. Really good piece. And you
Swiss Army knife.
You're really high on him, it seems, going into his third season.
Extremely high on him.
And I love Evan Williams. He's like my favorite Packer.
Yeah.
These days. I think he took a huge step forward in year 2. I think that's only going to continue into year 3. And he's paired next to an all-pro. So safeties we feel really good about.
Yeah, that's my – if like back in the day, in fact, I was looking for something in the garage the other day, and I came across my story where they let me in the offensive line meeting room.
Oh.
With Tausch, Cliffy, Marco Rivera, Mike Wall, and Mike Flanagan. I did it as a season preview story for the State Journal.
So this is what, like 2001?
No, 04 I think it was, before the 04 season. Those were my guys, right? And obviously now I do a show with one of them for 10 years. My guys now is the safety group. Like McKinney and Williams and Bullard are my, like, if I have nothing that I need to work on, I'm usually talking to one of the 3 of them or your guy, Jade Reed. Those are the guys I'm talking to.
It's their most complete group, in my opinion. But real quick, additions, objections, anything else on safeties?
Maybe it is the Jason Wilde influence, and I hear him talk about this guy so much. But if I had to pick one player that is going to break out this year, it's going to be Javon Bullard.
And that's only because I would argue that Evan Williams already did.
Agree. Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Yeah.
I totally agree. So you're running out of options defensively. Has Edrin Cooper broken out?
Oladapo.
Has Edrin Cooper broken out? We would say technically yes, but also not all the way.
He had a great rookie season.
Yeah.
He is not broken. I would say he would be eligible for our if we were to do a breakout season pick, he would be eligible.
But Evan Williams would not be.
No, I think he had a really, really good season. I think he is a bona fide top-flight NFL safety.
And everybody was, oh, man, how come Xavier McKinney's not having a good year? And then he was second-team All-Pro.
Yep.
Right.
Bingo. Yeah, they're really good on the back end.
Yeah, so he didn't have 8 interceptions in 8 games.
Well, let's go outside. Let's go to the other piece of the defensive back puzzle,
Do
which
we
is
have to?
certainly
We're
a puzzle.
having so much fun talking about how good
that
the
was
safeties
fun,
are.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it's
like
good.
the highest our mood got. That and when Major Goolsby's delivered food.
Keyshawn Nixon's underpaid.
Yep.
Carrington Valentine can't tackle.
Correct.
Brandon Ceese's 20 years old and a rookie.
I mean, that's fun that he's 20.
Benjamin St. Juste is a fine fourth cornerback.
Well, he was the highest-rated zone corner in the NFL last season.
And he played, 30% of snaps?
He played 35% of the snaps.
Yeah. I don't know what to make of this room at all. I hope talk about my guys. My guy Carrington Valentine, who I got to spend some time with in the NFL draft. I hope he worked on tackling this offseason because he's fine in coverage.
I think he's – and by the way, I think he had some pretty high-profile missed tackles. But I think when he actually, puts his arms around the guy that he's tackling, he's not that bad.
You just hadn't given Gabe a hug yet today? Is that what just happened there?
Well, how do you know? I just think if you don't – coaches love to talk about fundamentals. That's a great example of why they talk about fundamentals all the time. Because for him to think as a 195-pound corner, that's twice that happened late last season where he thought, I'm going to blow this dude up. And he hit him really hard, and the guy didn't go down, and then he kept running.
Yep.
And you just can't do that. And the Packers, both in Jeff Hafley's system previously and now in Jonathan Gannon, they expect that crack and replace, and those corners have to be able to tackle. It's one of the reasons why Jair Alexander, after being run over by Najee Harris in 2021, was just never the same player anymore. Because I can't emphasize enough how during his first 3 seasons we would watch him and go, how is a guy this little, this physical? That was one of the things that were special about him.
And he got injured being physical.
Right.
It's
and
not
he
like
was never the same again.
He met Najee. Like, he came up and he had force.
And Najee, that's like running into Eddie Lacy.
Right.
That was the same type of running back that he was.
No. All right. Is Keyshawn Nixon going to hold in/out?
Oh, what? Really?
Just give me a yes or no.
We're having so much fun.
Just give me a yes or no.
Right, but that's whatever I say is not. So this all, you know what happened, right?
No.
So I mentioned to Tausch that I had talked to Keyshawn off the record during the minicamp.
Yep.
And he kept trying to ask me, is he going to hold out? I said, he did not say that to me in any point of our conversation on the record. And then he just kept pushing and pushing, and then the aggregator world made a big thing out of it. And then the Packers got wind of it because they used the clip of me not saying that he would or wouldn't hold out on Cheesehead TV. And thankfully they took it to Keyshawn Nixon, because I was planning on talking to Keyshawn that day in the locker room to say, hey, I said this on the radio. I would never betray any confidences. And he never said he was going to. Let me just be clear, even though it was off the record. At no point did he say to me, I am going to hold out. He never, ever said that.
Did he ever say he was going to hold in?
No, he never said that either. Now, but I'm not willing to sit here and say he is going to practice on day one, because I don't know that. Now, do I think that would be a good move for him? I don't. Do I think he's underpaid? Absolutely.
Definitely. He is.
Do I? There's like, however you feel as a, I'm going to look into the camera.
Right
however you feel as a Packers fan about Keyshawn Nixon, that's fine. And you think, he turned down that tackle, even though that guy was going to score anyway at the goal line in the playoff game. If you're mad at him, fine. But the fact that he is the number one corner on your favorite football team and being paid $4 million.
Not his fault.
Is not his fault. It is Brian Gutekunst's fault. And that's fine. And Brian Gutekunst is probably going to remake that position next year anyway with the guys he drafted this year and another batch of guys. But it's not wrong for Keyshawn Nixon to say, if I'm your number one corner, I deserve to make more than $4 million this year.
Yeah.
If Keyshawn Nixon was your number 2 corner, he deserves to make more than $4 million next year. Keyshawn is. I know he is.
He's had some bad moments.
He's had some bad moments, but he's not a
not
bad.
everyone's cup of tea.
No,
Correct.
but he's not
Good
a
way to
bad
put it.
corner.
He's not.
He's not a bad cornerback.
He really
and when he hits, I guess I should say when he hits, because I don't think the Packers are going to give him a new contract.
No.
When he hits free agency next year, he's going to be making more than $4 million per year.
Even at age 29. Look,
teams need corners, and he can play slot. And obviously, the Packers don't need him to play slot because of how good Bullard is. And maybe if Bullard, again, not hoping that he gets hurt, but if there is an injury there, he can slide down and maybe they play somebody else on the outside. But he can play inside, he can play outside, and that is valuable for NFL teams when you can do that.
Yeah, look, Keyshawn Nixon and I are not friends. We have a really good working relationship. You know, I did a piece a couple Mother's Days ago about him and his mom, and ever since then he and I have been tight from a reporter-player standpoint. He did not betray his plans, and if he had, I would have told him, can I introduce you to my friend, who wasn't really my friend, but I would use that phrase, Elton Jenkins, because he can tell you all about how this is going to turn out.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I think he's just in a rock and a hard place,
It's a tough
and
spot.
neither option is good for him. That said, I just feel like he should be the type of player that Packers fans should celebrate. He was a guy that was signed first of all, started out as an undrafted free agent, signed for the veteran minimum off the Raiders, and is an all-pro, first-team all-pro return guy. Then becomes a guy that plays as their slot corner for an entire year in addition to returning. Then becomes your number one corner, and by the way, plays more than passably as your number one corner, whether you think he should be your corner or not. So what bothers me about how some fans, and it's not everybody, but yes, does him saying, I don't want to return kicks anymore, rub people the wrong way? Yes. Are there other things that he might say that you don't like to hear? Yes. Is he brash? Yes. I
You
get all
almost
that.
have to be. That's almost like a
like
prerequisite.
a requirement in the position.
Yeah, correct.
It's like a prerequisite in order to play that position.
If you're a wideout or a corner, you have to speak that way.
And think about how it's so hard to go from slot to the outside. Guys can't do it. The Packers thought that Nate Hobbs was going to be able to do it.
Great point.
And he could not. He could not do it. So for him to do what he's done, it's an incredible career. Like you said, it's one of those stories I feel that a lot of in the past Packers fans have grabbed and jumped onto, but I think because he's said some things that's rubbed people the wrong way, they just don't like him.
Yeah, I mean he has not achieved to the height that Tramon Williams, who's going to the Packers Hall of Fame, is, but it's a similar trajectory.
Yes.
He did not become Tramon Williams for 2-3 years was one of the top 5 corners in the NFL.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Keyshawn Nixon is that, but he followed a similar trajectory of, Tramon Williams was going to a different NFL city every Tuesday looking for a job,
right,
and became one of the top corners in the league. Those are the kinds of guys, those success stories should resonate, and for whatever reason, with a meaningful portion of the fan base, it does not with Keyshawn Nixon.
I think the ultimate point on the corners is what we saw last year, and that is if you can generate a pass rush, that will cover up a lot of your shortcomings at that position in terms of personnel.
And if you don't have Micah Parsons, how will it fare without?
Which you will not at the beginning of the season, but the good news is your schedule's not terribly tough in terms of opposing quarterbacks very early
I don't know. Shine On Sports says they're gonna start 0-2.
Kyler Murray, and who do they play
Cool.
week 2? The Jets, Geno Smith. And then they have who's the quarterback? Is it going to be Tua in Atlanta?
I would think so.
Yeah.
Again, you shouldn't rush back from an ACL, but apparently Michael Penix is trying to.
And then it's Baker Mayfield, Caleb Williams, and Dak Prescott the following 3 weeks, which that's a little bit different. So we will see how they fare early on in the season at that position. All right, the rapid-fire round of State of the Packers. What we have missed in terms of position, question marks. Shoo.
You nailed that, too. That's another example of what kind of show you're having. Like, mine is more of a pew, but that's not what he said. You're right on.
Josh has played it so much on our show.
Rapid fire round, State of the Packers 2026 coming up next, live from Summerfest on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
More football talk coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation, and it definitely shouldn't feel like a game. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin believes in straightforward pricing, honest conversations, and helping homeowners find the right fit for their home. Because a fair final price matters more than some flashy discount. Pella never inflates pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. And when you buy direct through Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, one trusted team handles everything from start to finish. The same company that manufactures your windows and doors is also the one selling, installing, and servicing them with Pella certified installers every step of the way. That means confidence in the process, confidence in the product, and one team standing behind the work from beginning to end. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Mark Tauscher here, and if you know me, you know I love Wisconsin. That's why I'm a UW Credit Union member. Their team's been all about Wisconsin since 1931, and they love making banking easy for members. Whether it's with their convenient mobile app or with the great perks like early payday to get you paid sooner. Stop by any of their local branches or visit uwcu.org to join and become a UW Credit Union member like I did. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This 4th of July, crack open something made for the red, white, and blissful. The new Americana Backyard Bliss Variety 8-pack is here just in time for America's 250th birthday, featuring 4 nostalgic flavors: strawberry, cherry, grape, and apple. It's the taste of backyard barbecues, fireworks at dusk, and long summer weekends packed into every can. This Independence Day, bring the nostalgia and bring the bliss with the new Americana Backyard Bliss Variety Pack from Carbliss. Available now at your local retailer or online at drinkcarbliss.com.
Your premier Michigan golf getaway includes rounds at Sweetgrass and Sage Run. Book Monday through Wednesday for best availability. Savor elevated dining and unwind at the full-service Drift Spa between rounds. Grab quick bites in the expanded Sage Run Clubhouse or refresh overlooking the 9th and 18th at Sweetgrass. It's all part of an unforgettable golf experience at Island Resort and Casino. Plan your getaway at islandresortgolf.com.
As we celebrate Independence Day and 250 years of American freedom, there's never been a better time to invest in the place you call home. Maybe it's that roof you've been meaning to replace, those drafty windows you've learned to live with, or that bathroom you've wanted to update for years. Whatever project you've been putting off, Exterior Pros and Baths can help. This Independence Day, you can save up to $3,000 on your next project. Call 262-800-4274 or visit extpros.com. Exterior Pros and Baths. Done right, built to last.
My overall experience with Gruber Law Offices has been phenomenal.
The treatment was excellent.
They will be supportive of you. They will listen to you.
It was a great experience knowing that I had people to help me.
I know I could count on them to do what I needed to get done.
Experience with Gruber was great.
They gave me my life back.
It was amazing.
He gets results.
We know how to win. If you've been injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Gruber Law Offices had my best interests at heart.
Look around your office. Does it look like 1994 called and wants its lobby back?
Most brands just show up, often amongst outdated decor.
At Captivate Exhibits, ordinary space is the enemy. Beige walls, faded graphics, that motivational poster no one reads.
That's not culture, that's camouflage.
Captivate designs and builds spaces that don't whisper, they speak. They spark conversations, people lean in.
Stop blending in and start captivating today at CaptivateExhibits.com.
We don't just cover the green and gold. We cover the green and gold. Your home for Green Bay football talk on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel, and the ESPN Wisconsin app. You're listening to the State of the Packers on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Back to Alex, Gabe, and Jason.
About a half an hour left. State of the Packers 2026. We are live from Summerfest just outside of the Gruber Law Offices Sports Zone. He is the 3-time Wisconsin sports writer, Jason Wilde. He is Mr. Worldwide, Gabe Neitzel. I am Alex Strouf, hanging out with you, talking all things Green Bay Packers, just about a month out from the start of 2026 training camp. All right, we're gonna play a game. Not yes or no. Not
No, we're not.
But we're going to do something very similar. Deal or no deal? I'm going to give you a Packers storyline. You tell me if it's a deal or it's no big deal. That make sense?
Sure.
Let's start with a new special teams coordinator in town. Cam Acord takes over for the departing Rich Bisaccia. Is that a deal or no deal?
Wait, isn't it like big
deal or no big deal?
Big deal, little deal, or no deal?
I don't know. I just wanted to pay my respects to Howie Mandel. It's my favorite.
Pass away?
No. He's just my one.
He's still with us.
No,
isn't he doing America's Got Talent or whatever?
Yeah, he does.
He's trying to sell me slip-on shoes.
Yeah, he does. He does a lot of TikTok lives. I know, getting coins and stuff. I don't know. Anyway.
Little deal. I would, if you don't mind me, Howie, changing it slightly, because I don't think we can say that having a new special teams coordinator is no deal at all. But I don't think it's a big deal either. And I don't. Maybe it improves slightly, but again, I think it probably improved more than people give it credit for under Rich Bisaccia. But Rich Bisaccia, it's no wonder that him and Keyshawn Nixon get along so well.
I think it's a bigger deal that maybe they move on for the contract the way they did with McCall Hardman last year, but I think bringing in Sky Moore is a bigger deal. Because to Jason's point...
Who didn't practice throughout the offseason, so I haven't seen him do anything yet.
But to Jason's point, their coverage units were very good under Rich Bisaccia. And that was basically what he could control. The Packers didn't go out, and Brian Gutekunst didn't really ever give him outside of any special teams coordinator outside of Keyshawn Nixon.
Right, and he didn't even Keyshawn Nixon wasn't a return guy, by the way, when they got him.
Correct, yeah.
He didn't do that in Vegas.
Yeah.
They turned out to be the best in the league.
But they have broadcasted that they haven't really cared about their return units in a long time.
Correct.
Whether it's drafting, signing. Last year I thought it was with McCall Hardman. They let him go. We'll see what happens with Sky Moore this year. But actually having a dedicated return guy, that's going to make huge difference, I think, for their special teams, regardless of who's coordinating it.
Fair enough. Rookie kicker back in town. Big deal or little deal?
Oh, it's a big deal.
It's the biggest deal.
The biggest deal?
I think he's being a little facetious when he says
I don't
that.
think so.
No, but
I don't think he is.
Brian Gutekunst is on the record. Championship teams have championship kickers.
2022, which didn't turn out to be a championship year.
I don't know if Trace Mack's a championship kicker.
No, neither does he.
And I know things did not end well in the postseason last year for Brandon McManus. The dude has kicked in a Super Bowl before. He's gotten teams there. And up until that playoff game, he had made, 30 or 31 kicks in a row? So he had kind of gotten over the quad injury that had led to the confusion of everything that happened around the kicking situation in the middle of the season because they wanted to hold on to a guy because can't let him go, so we're going to have 2 kickers on our active roster. But they've made the decision. Trace Mack is clearly their guy, and my issue is even rookie kickers who turn out to be really good, like Ryan Longwell, are probably going to have struggles in that rookie season. Ryan Longwell missed a 29-yard game-winning kick his rookie year. Now, for that team, it didn't really matter because they were really good. They still went to the Super Bowl, even though that kick cost them home field advantage in the NFC Championship game. They still went up to San Francisco, kicked the crap out of the 49ers, and went on to Super Bowl 32. I don't think this is breaking news. This team is not as good as that team in 1997. If he misses a game-winning field goal and it costs him a game, that could cost them the division. It could cost them a wild card spot. This is a huge roll of the dice that this rookie kicker is going to be different than most of the rookie kickers that have come through here since Mason Crosby.
Yes or no, does Lucas Havlicek have a shot to win the job?
No. But he does have the opportunity that if he just keeps making kicks, there could be a replay of 1997.
He can't.
He can't win the job.
He can't win the job. Trace Mack
can lose it so he can have the job.
Got it.
But
that's where I was trying to get, but he said it more concisely.
Well, he's having a really good show. I don't know if anybody's heard that yet. Yeah,
I've heard that.
Heard anybody say that yet today.
It's the word on the street at Summerfest.
All right, last one for you guys. All 4 teams in the NFC North finished 500 or above 500.
They did.
In 2025. Is that a big deal or a little deal for 2026?
I want to know what the Minnesota Vikings are with Kyler Murray because with their
you have to imagine that's an upgrade, right?
Yeah, and
I don't know that for sure.
Yeah, I don't either. But again, I'm not a J.J. McCarthy guy, so I would say even if it's a minimal upgrade, I believe it is an upgrade. But yeah, look, I think the Lions are way better than a last-place team. I think the Bears are going to backslide, but I don't think Packers fans' fantasies of them being a 7-10 operation is going to come true either. So, yeah, I think it's a big deal that there's 4 pretty darn good football teams in that.
I mean, Minnesota is the most fascinating team because Kyler Murray, on the surface, yes, should be better than J.J. McCarthy, but we're also talking about somebody that is a former number 1 overall pick that hasn't been able to stay healthy and has had issues staying focused in the past. And I know everybody just wants to say, oh, Kevin O'Connell, he's this quarterback whisperer, unbelievable coach. Dude's also never won a playoff game. So,
well, I mean, if you want to get bogged down.
So I think he's a really good coach, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to reach every single quarterback that comes through there.
Final thoughts and outlook of the 2026 Green Bay Packers season is coming up next as we wrap up.
Wait, we don't have another hour still?
We didn't add another hour this year. I know that had been the tradition
you
previously.
said you were gonna.
Yeah,
He's got a
wedding to get to. Final thoughts, outlook of the 26th season. Coming up next, State of the Packers live from Summerfest on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
More football talk coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
It all started with a small storefront and a big promise. Treat every customer just like family. For decades, local families have trusted Sendix to provide the freshest food, the warmest smiles, and a place where community comes first. From generation to generation, we have grown together. Because Sendix is more than just a grocery store. It's home. Thank you for allowing us to serve you for the past 100 years. Here's to the next 100 years. Sendix, your trusted local grocer.
When you work smart, incredible things can happen. By joining Smart 18, the union for Wisconsin sheet metal workers, you'll open the door to a brighter future. You'll learn and earn more. Enjoy awesome benefits across the board. Build a great career and feel empowered and supported every step of the way. The smartest career decision you'll ever make starts with Smart 18. Find out more today at smart18info.com.
What life events have you experienced over the past couple of years? Well, maybe one is coming up. The sale of a company, death, divorce, a health crisis, or helping to pay for college or a wedding. Well, Annex Wealth Management has assisted clients with life events, but planning for them can make all the difference. Knowing what you own, why you own it, and how much you're paying for it is a big part of smart financial planning. Annex has an entire in-house team that works together so you can make informed decisions when life events come up. Click Get Started at annexwealth.com.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Since January, I've already lost 40 pounds and dropped a couple pant sizes. This program has been simple, safe, and their team has helped me every step of the way. Best of all, it's built to help keep the weight off for good. If you're looking for a weight loss program that works, Milwaukee Weight Loss is it. For a limited time, get $200 off with our summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
Results may vary.
Feels like the world is a little broken lately. Maybe all we need is a fix. Most spirits are acidic. Fix Vodka is different. Fix Vodka is the world's first high-alkaline, acid-free vodka. Handcrafted with natural spring water and select grain. Clean, smooth, done right. Better water, better vodka. Get your local Fix.
Fix Vodka.
Enjoy responsibly.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage door authority in Wisconsin. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to get your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to geisdoors.com. That's GEIS doors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield, featuring hundreds of doors and openers and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And while buying a home is a big deal, it certainly doesn't have to be and shouldn't be a stressful experience. At Great Midwest Bank, we combine competitive rates, fast pre-approvals, and honest advice from knowledgeable loan officers to help you every step of the way through your home buying or building journey. For 90 years, our customers have been part of the GMB family. Experience a state of tranquility at GreatMidwestBank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Hey, this is Tanas Antetokounmpo. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today. You're listening to the State of the Packers on 94.5 ESPN and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Back to Alex, Gabe, and Jason.
Wrapping up State of the Packers 2026 live from Summerfest just outside of the Gruber Law Office's Sports Zone. He, three-time Wisconsin sports writer of the year, Jason Wilde. He is Mr. Worldwide, Gabe Neitzel. I'm Alex Strouf. A couple minutes left with you. All right, I want to give you guys as much time as possible, so I will just say this. I really think this season could go any direction. They could go 6-11. They could go 14-3. This is the first time probably since Jordan Love's first year as a starter where I really don't know what to expect. We think they were a good team, but we saw what injuries did to them last year. We think they're a good team, but also I feel like we spent a lot of the last 3 hours discussing question marks at cornerback in the offensive line and the defensive front and wide receiver. This plan should work better than previous ones. So I'm eager to see. I'm still very bullish on Jordan Love and think this could be an MVP season for him, but I really don't know what to make of the 2026 season for a team that should be in Super Bowl or bust mode.
Is this the same guy that was devastated when we did this show a few years ago?
Yeah, same guy.
And said they might be 6-11. Look, I don't think. I think they're a good team. If they stay healthy, they
could be a great team.
They could be a great team, and they are at minimum a 10-7 team. Like, to me, if they have a healthy team, the floor is 10-7. And the ceiling is 14-3, winning the division, winning a divisional round playoff game, perhaps even, and reaching the NFC Championship game. I don't see them unless they suffer catastrophic injuries again and earlier than they did last year. I don't see them as a 6-11 team. There's too much talent on this team. But the depth concerns and the question marks that we have spent time on during these 3 hours, I think are very valid and can certainly take a team that is capable of being great and prevent it from being great.
Yeah, I would just say the 6-11 comment is if they don't stay healthy, right? If they lose Jordan Love for an extended period of time. I don't think they're 6-11 if they're healthy, but there is some question marks on this team that are, I think, extra concerning, especially given you don't know when you're getting Micah Parsons back defensively.
But I think we know what the baseline for a lot of those questions are. Now, along the offensive line, I think that's bigger question marks, corners, but question marks you might have at wide receiver or along the defensive front or at linebacker, the way we've talked about throughout the course of the show, are different than Jordan Love's first year of starting in 2023. There were questions of, we didn't know how good a lot of these guys were on the roster outside of somebody like Aaron Jones and some of the actual veterans that they had on the team. I think we know, like Jason said, that we think the baseline for these guys is pretty good. Now, the questions we have is, can Christian Watson take that next step? Can Tucker Kraft take that next step? Can Jordan Love take that next step? From going from being pretty good to being great. And if that happens, that's when you have the special thing happen of winning a division, being one of those top 2 seeds, potentially getting to a Super Bowl.
90 seconds left. Jason, final word.
I think they are a year away from being a true Super Bowl team. I think they are a team that will be playing late in a division round game for the right to go to the NFC Championship game. Maybe they win, maybe they don't. I don't expect them to be in a Super Bowl, but I expect this team to – all the things that Gabe said during one of the greatest performances in ESPN Wisconsin history were on point. And this is a season of going from good to great for a lot of players. And if that happens, then it could go from a good to a great season.
Gabe, final thoughts.
mean, I think
Man, I was good today is what it should say.
Well, is this? Are you doing a bit?
No,
do you
I think he has been outstanding.
Do you not
today.
remember doing this exact same thing last year?
I don't. Did I say that last year?
You
too?
did it every.
I don't do enough
segment.
shows with Gabe.
Clearly,
he's so good.
Yes, yes.
There's a reason why
Well,
the
I have good
national
news.
people want him.
I have good news. We're less than 3 months away from Green Bay game day making its triumphant return.
I'm
for
sorry,
the
that's
season.
good news.
Well, you have to spend
I
more
get
time
Gabe's.
with me.
I get Gabe. That's the good
The bad
news.
news is you spend more time
Yes
with me.
or no? It's good news. That Green Bay game day is a few months away.
That does it for us. A big thanks to CCAT running the show for us back at the Gruber Law Offices. One call. That's all studio. We'll be back with you next year for State of the Packers 2027. Can't wait for that.
4 hours.
Probably. We might need it. We might need it. This has been State of the Packers on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. We will talk to you later. Peace.
Get a $1,000 trade-in bonus. Any make, any model, any condition. You'll be surprised at how much you'll get for your trade at the Cunis Trade-Up event, happening now at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Cunis